Okay, we're going to put these NFC East Division hats on. We're going to have somebody take a picture of everybody who's in here with their hat on. Okay, and then by midnight tonight, here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to give it to somebody. I want you to give it to somebody you love. Give it to your wife, give it to your kid, give it to your mom, give it to your dad, give it to somebody. Because as good as this is, I think our sights are set a little higher than this. All right?
Now that is one dramatic pause, John.
I love that. That got me. We watched that last night as a crew. That got me fired up.
Jason Garrett, his 5th season, the first one took over as an interim basis and led them to a 5-3 record, 3 straight 8-8 years where they got to the last game to this week and then a chance to win and get in the playoffs and lost. Now they're in the playoffs. They have won the NFC East. Unlikely they get a bye, but it can happen with some weird results today. But they'll get their starters, at least for most of today. Won the toss, and here we go. Wayne Harris. Right up the gut. Good return. And we will see Tony Romo taking the field today. He's had a great year and an even better December. I mean, check this out. A 143.5 passer rating in 3 games in December. 10 touchdowns, no interceptions.
And how ironic in that everyone's always panned and killed Tony Romo for fading in December. And this year, as he has with this whole game, he's turned up the volume in December, playing excellent football.
Cowboys playing great. They've won 3 games in convincing fashion in this month. And they started off with DeMarco Murray. And Murray scurries across the 30 to the 31. Well, you want to know why the Cowboys offense is so much better? Well, there's a number of reasons, but none bigger than this.
And the time of possession. They run the football unbelievably. And it starts with this offensive line up front. 3 Pro Bowlers, DeMarco Murray, the NFL's leading rusher, and all that makes Tony Romo better on 3rd down. You've seen the improvement there. This offense is clicking on all cylinders.
On a 2nd and 7, Romo's going to throw it for the first time. He's got a completion right near the first down at Jason Witten, and he should move the chains. Kind of a revival for Jason Witten in the pass game. He came alive with a big game against the Colts, makes the reception on the 2nd play here.
And Jason Witten hasn't had the quantity of receptions because they're doing other things. They're running the football. Dez Bryant's out there. Cole Beasley has emerged. But boy, is he dependable. When you need him, he's so good, and he's so complete as a tight end. One of the best run block tight ends in the league, can also catch it so well.
7 catches for 90 yards and a touchdown against Indy last week. Fake to Murray, all day to throw. Here near side to Williams. He's got a completion for a first down, and he's into Washington territory in a gain of 14.
And that's what happens, Kevin, when you have the threat of running the football. They're running it 50% of the time. The play action comes alive. Terrence Williams, the beneficiary of an accurate throw by Romo.
A lot of things to look at for this Cowboys team today, especially DeMarco Murray, who came into today 29 yards shy of Emmitt Smith's all-time single-season record. Get it? And Murray inside the 45. Good run. Works his way down to the 41. Washington defense hasn't had a good year, but they played well in the first meeting week 8 against Dallas when they sacked Romo 5 times.
They had Tony confused, as Jim Haslett can do. Jim Haslett will throw everything at you. The Cowboys didn't handle it well in week 8. Tony Romo got knocked out of the game, then came back with the back injury. They got to protect Romo today. He's got to get the ball out of his hands.
Second and 4. Good fake. Romo on the run. Hits Witten. And Witten taken down inside the 25. And this Cowboys offense is clicking right from the get-go.
And Kevin, you just watch the linebackers, the threat of the run. You've got the NFL's leading rusher. Watch the linebackers get sucked up. Well, Jason Witten, he's going to come right across the formation. That's easy pickings for Tony Romo, who hits his great tight end.
It's a 23-yard gain and a great opening drive for Dallas. 6th play of the drive now. Murray looking right and not much there. as he's taken down immediately by Perry Riley Jr. Down on the sidelines we go with Pam Oliver.
Well, Kevin, you saw that awesome locker room video to start the game. Well, the Cowboys, that is their outlook coming into this. I talked to Jason Witten. He said, we got to play this game with a chip on our shoulder. Remember when people didn't think we were very good? The team wants to stay on the ascent coming into this game, and remember that the stakes are high because this is right before the playoffs. Back to you.
All right, Pam, thanks very much. And that's why, as John said earlier, and Pam just said, that's why the starters are playing. Now we'll see how long they do play. 2nd and 10. Blitz coming. Romo goes to Bryant for his first catch of the day on the far side of the field. He's taken down at about the 22. Or excuse me, that's more like the 18.
And Kevin, one of the keys in that Week 8 win for Washington was that they did a tremendous job keeping Dez Bryant in check. It wasn't just Bashad Breeland. It was David Amerson all over. They did a nice job keeping Dez Bryant, who's so explosive, in check. Only 3 catches for 30 yards in that Week 8 game.
It's a 3rd and 4, and the Cowboys are number 1 in the league on 3rd down conversions, just over 48%. Locked up, Romo nearly intercepted, and that one should have been picked off by Keenan Robinson.
Now you watch Keenan Robinson in Week 8. They came after Romo. In fact, Robinson's the one that hurt Tony Romo. Instead, he drops out. Tony Romo never sees him. He's got a chance for a pick 6, and he lets it go.
Wow, that's the thing. That's not only an interception, that's all the way. He had nobody in front of him. And so the Cowboys get a break, and we will see Dan Bailey. That's the holder, Jones, who's the punter. Dan Bailey has just been a terrific find, a free agent out of Oklahoma State in 2011. 22 of 26 this year. Jones the hold, and Bailey sends it through. And Dallas up 3-0 early on a good opening drive. Washington gets the ball. We come back.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
Now you take a look at that last play. There's Keenan Robinson. Romo thinks he's coming. He's not coming. He drops out. Romo never sees him. But watch, Kevin, if he gets this ball, he is out the door. We're talking pick 6. Those are opportunities. When you're 4-11, there's a reason why. It's things like that.
Instead, they get a Dan Bailey 36-yard field goal. And so it's 3-0 Dallas as they take the opening drive down 9 plays, 55 yards. Here's Andre Roberts. And Roberts right up to the 20. He's taken down by J.J. Wilcox. And we will see Washington and Robert Griffin III on the field when we come back. 3-0 Dallas.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly.
Washington football on their own 20, their first possession of the game. Robert Griffin III, an up and down year for him, to say the least. In and out of the lineup, first for injury and then for being benched. They played well last week against Philadelphia. And now gets a chance to finish the season on a good note and convince his head coach that he could be the quarterback of this team going forward. They started out with a run, Alfred Morris, and he is corralled early for a short game. Well, it's been a rough season at quarterback for Washington. I mean, start off with a week 2 injury against Jacksonville, dislocated ankle, so Griffin III goes out. Kirk Cousins comes in, plays well initially, then interceptions galore. He's benched. Colt McCoy beats the Cowboys. He plays well a little bit, and then he gets hurt, so here comes a 6-game losing streak. Finally, they get a win. They beat the Eagles and knocked them out of the playoffs last week, and a good game for Robert Griffin III. Who is going to be the quarterback of this team going forward? That's what we'll try and figure out on the fake. Griffin III, all kinds of time. They get it out to Terrell Young, and he's got himself a first down across the 30. Tell you one thing, after meeting with Jay Gruden, it's pretty obvious he doesn't care who the quarterback is going forward.
No, he doesn't. You know, that was one of the most honest answers I've heard in all the production meetings we do. It's not like I don't like Robert Griffin III, but we've got 3 we like, and I don't care who emerges. One of them's going to. Right there, though, I think Jay Gruden's helping Robert Griffin III. That's what he's done the last couple games. Get him comfortable, play action, quick throws, and he throws a beautiful deep ball.
Coming to Deshaun Jackson. Gets a block. DeSean Jackson off to the races. 69-yard touchdown.
This is an unbelievable. Just talking about quick passes, I want you to watch Trent Williams. Watch him come out. He's going to make the block that frees DeSean Jackson. That's a left tackle making the key block, and with speed to burn, DeSean Jackson out the door. Nobody faster in this league than DeSean Jackson, and he puts that speed on display early with an assist from his left tackle, Trent Williams.
It's been a 1,000-yard season for DeSean Jackson. He is a big play machine, and that time a 69-yard touchdown, the longest of the season from Robert Griffin III. And Washington out early. Didn't take long to answer, did it? Just like that, it's 7-3. They're in front.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Pizza Hut. We're taking pizza where it's never been before. By Ford. Beautiful things happen when you go further. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Well, DeSean Jackson has now 8 catches of 50-plus yards this year, first in the league. But Trent Williams, you talked in the open, John, about every game means something. He played last week with his right arm basically hanging on the ground. He doesn't have to play today, and he just made that great block.
That's what this league's all about. You always have something to play for. Trent Williams going to the Pro Bowl, showing why right there.
And Dwayne Harris catches over the back. And the Cowboys will start on their own 20. Here's the play.
Now take a look defensively. Cameron Lawrence, Rolando McClain is absent today. The trickle-down effect. You got to cover up DeSean Jackson, then blitz. He doesn't cover down. Couldn't be an easier read for DeSean Jackson. One block by Trent Williams. And DeSean Jackson hitting his head on the goalpost.
Jackson, as I said, 8 plays of 50 yards or more, number 1 in the league. 13 catches of 40 yards or more, also number 1 in the league. Quite honestly, it's been a steal of a free agent for Washington. He's been a big play guy his whole career, and again this year. And it's 7-3. They're up. Cowboys football on their own 20. Murray. And Murray doesn't go very far, a couple of yards as he chases Emmitt Smith's record. We talked about the Cowboys playing all their guys, but Murray specifically is a very interesting case getting the call today.
He really is, because he's had so many carries. Now, if you talk to DeMarco Murray, he says, I'm 26 years old. I've got fresh legs. I haven't been abused in my career carry-wise. I feel the same I do in Week 17 as I feel Week 1. I disagree. I don't see him running through contact like I did early in the year. I think it's critical that he gets back and fresh for the postseason.
It's a 2nd and 8. Omar looking over the middle. He's got Witten as tight end once again, and he's gone to Witten early and often 3 times today for a Dallas first down. It's a gain of 12. Well, you talked about Murray, and look, he's coming into today. He was 5 carries away from tying Emmitt Smith's record. He's got 4 already. He was 29 yards away. He's already got 12. But they have, given him the ball a ton.
Oh, they have. And like I said, you don't see it. It doesn't hit you in the face. But this guy is a guy who makes a lot of his yards after contact. Last couple weeks, not so much. And now, granted, there's been a broken hand in there that he's playing with. But I think it's more the attrition of all those carries is starting to pile up.
Fake it to him, reverse to Harris. Gets a block from Hanna. Washington played it well. He stacked it up. Maybe a yard on that, and that's all. Well, staying with that, you're right. I mean, he played last week. You want to talk about the toughness of this Cowboys team. He played last week, 6 days after surgery on a left hand, a broken hand, a metacarpal. So that's right in the meat of your hand bone. That screw is inserted. Still has stitches in there. But that was really what Jason Garrett told us about this team, wasn't it? The toughness.
And I think it's something special, right? I go back and I look at our Super Bowl year down in Tampa. We had a number of examples. This team displays that mental toughness week in, week out.
Here comes the blitz. They get it away quick. Go far side. What a move. Dez Bryant. He's trying to go all the way. One man to beat. Bryant takes it home. Touchdown, Dallas. Likely big plays, John Lynch.
It's exactly what Tony Romo told us. Look, this Washington defense, they're going to get you sometimes. They throw so much at you. But when we get our opportunity, it's not going to be a 10 or 12-yard gain. You're going to have one-on-ones, and when you have one-on-ones with guys like Dez Bryant, he's doing his best Deshaun Jackson impression. Out the door for Dez Bryant. Big plays back-to-back.
Wow. So Deshaun Jackson went in from 69 yards, and now it's Dez Bryant from 65 yards. That's a season long for he and Romo this year. And for Bryant, his 15th touchdown receiving. That leads the NFL. Big plays galore in this one. It's Dallas back in front. 15th touchdown of the year for Dez Bryant. Jason Garrett thrilled. Bryant has tied a franchise record, 15 with Terrell Owens from the 2007 season.
And you know what I hear, Kevin? I hear cash registers, because every time that man does something like that, he's getting a little more expensive.
He sure is. And so Roberts returning for Washington. Good hole. Roberts takes it out. Still going. Still moving the pile all the way to the 30 and across there. Good return and a push from Andre Roberts out to the 32. Let's look at the play.
And this is a casino blitz. Look at those guys. 8 guys up, 3 receivers, one-on-ones. There's no disguise. Now it's David Amerson, tough deal. Tackle Dez Bryant in space. He obviously doesn't get it done. And then the speed by Dez Bryant outrunning Philip Thomas, E.J. Biggers and company.
I guess on the casino blitz, sometimes the deal gets blackjack, John.
Right.
Tony Romo, season long for him to make it 11 touchdowns and no picks in December. Here goes Washington, first zone read of the day. And that's interesting because they really haven't done that at all. And it hasn't been a part of Griffin III's game since his rookie year.
Yeah, you know, and I think it's one idea that I differ with Jay Gruden. We're talking to him the other day. He doesn't think you can make a living doing that anymore. I don't think you can make a living. You better be able to throw from the pocket, but I think it can and should be a big part of their offense because Robert Griffin gives defenses fits with it.
Looking near side over the middle, incomplete. He was looking for Niles Paul. Well, I mean, look, Seattle, Russell Wilson does it a lot. Now, he doesn't run a lot of it, but they do that look a lot.
Absolutely. And this notion that teams have figured that out, not so. Just watch Seattle. And Robert Griffin's tremendous at it. At least make it part of your arsenal because the opposing defense has to spend so much time preparing for it.
I asked Rod Marinelli about that. He said they haven't done it a lot. You still have to prep for that. He said you have to go over your rules and keep your guys straight and go over that in practice. Roy Halou Jr. in the game on a 3rd and 9. 4-man rush. Taking the third over the middle. And that is going to be well short of the first down. It was Pierre Garçon making his first catch, and Washington will have to punt.
And that's the hallmark, what we just saw there at the end of that play. People swarming to the ball. This defense, they don't have a lot of stars, this Dallas defense. What they do, they play hard. They fly to the football, and credit Rod Marinelli for his influence on this defense. They've taken a big step up, doing it without hallmark cornerstone players, but collectively playing great football.
Way gets it away. Fair catch by Harris, and the Cowboys will start off around their own 25-yard line. And so we've seen some fireworks early on, that's for sure. But right now it's Dallas in front by 3. We will keep our eye on DeMarco Murray, just 17 yards away from breaking Emmitt Smith's single-season rushing record. Emmitt was in attendance last week when the Cowboys annihilated the Colts. Don't think he's here today. And they'll pass it this time to Murray. A lot of room to run. Murray's got himself. Looks to be a first down. He's out near the 37-yard line. Well, the philosophy for the Cowboys, John, has just completely changed. You look at it. Last year, they ran the ball 35% of the time. That was 29th in the NFL. They've jumped up to 50% of the time this year, which is 3rd most in the league.
And Jason Garrett will tell you it was all about taking the burden off Tony Romo. They felt he could be even better if they committed and stayed with the run game. They've done it, and the results have been terrific.
There's Murray. Good run out to the 42 that time. Here is the largest increase all time in run percentage from one year to the next. And what's interesting about this list, if you go and look, All of these other teams had a change in at least one area when you're talking coach, quarterback, or running back. So, for example, Pittsburgh, near the top of that list, that was Ben Roethlisberger's rookie year. They ran the ball. They made it easier for him. Cowboys have not. They've had the same personnel. They've just completely changed what they've done, and that's why they won the NFC East. Murray again, 2nd and 4, and he gets still on his feet. No, they say he was indeed down. Chris Baker wrestled him down at the 45, so he's going to be a yard short of a first down.
And that's actually, I mean, here I'm talking about the NFL league-leading rusher in DeMarco Murray, about to break Emmitt Smith. I don't think he's down, by the way.
Oh, he's not?
He is not down. On top of Chris Baker.
The eligible receiver.
Unchallengeable.
67 is eligible.
But that's a play right there that I'm talking about that I think earlier in the year he runs through that tackle. He's a phenomenal player. And there's something amiss right now in his game.
They bring on an extra offensive lineman here on a 3rd and 1. Murray, left side, first down and more. That's the record. DeMarco Murray all the way down inside the 25. And a new single-season rushing leader for Dallas. A 32-yard run. And congratulations to DeMarco Murray.
Unbelievable season. They've put the load on him. He's responded. Emmitt Smith, the NFL's all-time leading rusher, and he just broke that record. Hats off to DeMarco Murray, to his fullback Tyler Klutz, to this entire Cowboys offense. What a season for DeMarco Murray.
And now Joseph Randle is in at halfback, number 21, second-year player. He's had a good year in the limited time he's played. But Romo's going deep for Bryant, and he is incomplete. He's out of bounds. David Amerson on the coverage. Bryant says, hey, can we look at this? We will.
And again, no one-on-ones, and that's what DeMarco Murray does for you. The right foot down, left foot down. I believe that's a touchdown.
That is a touchdown. Let's see the ball. It's a touchdown. I'm looking at that if I'm Jason Garrett. That's a touchdown. That ball never moved. He completed the catch.
There goes the challenge.
Yeah. This is going to be a touchdown to Dez Bryant.
Yeah.
Ball never moved. He had it in there like a vice. Feet were clearly in. Watch. Left foot here is going to come down. You see the green? That's going to get reversed. They review it. We'll be back.
Well, Kevin, you alluded to the fact that the feet are clearly in. Watch the ball now. He's got to control it through the process of the catch. Ball never moves. That's a touchdown all day long. Great challenge by Jason Garrett.
Yeah, and now they're showing it in the stadium, and there are a ton of Cowboys fans here today, and they just reacted to that. Dez Bryant is a monster, John. I mean, you said it. You hear the cash register before. Well, that's because his contract's up. And, yeah, he could be a franchise tag guy. But one way or another, whether it's here or somewhere else, he's going to be making a lot of money. I mean, when you look at what he's done the last 3 years.
No doubt. And, Kevin, I think that last drive perfectly depicted why I believe, and a lot of people believe, this is a team that can and will do damage in the playoffs. They beat you with the run. They can beat you with the pass. Extremely versatile.
After reviewing the play, the rule on the field is reversed to a touchdown. Dallas has not called the timeout and has won their first challenge.
Nice job by Jerome Boger and Dean Blandino in New York looking at the play. Meanwhile, we told you about DeMarco Murray now in the Cowboys record books, and so is Dez Bryant, because he is now the single-season all-time touchdown receiving leader with 16. That's a new record.
And it's just incredible to me as I watch this team how much it looks like those championship Cowboy teams, the triplets. You had Emmitt Smith running it, you had Troy Aikman under center, and you had Michael Irvin, who happened to wear 88 outside. So similar. Offensive line to boot up front. This team's an exciting team to watch.
Bailey's extra point up and good, and it's 17-7 Dallas. What a drive. 2 record-breaking plays. First, the run.
Well, DeMarco Murray, such a presence. That beautiful running style. The direct style, but powerful. Downfield, and what a season DeMarco Murray has had. He understands it. He talked about the Christmas presents he brought. That offensive line, that entire offense, he got them all watches. And those offensive linemen appreciative and have done a tremendous job for him.
And then it's David Amerson having nightmares early on in this game. He's gotten beat twice.
I'm telling you, one adjustment I'm making if I'm the Redskins right now, Bashaud Breeland. He's your best corner. Put him on Dez Bryant. David Amerson can play. He's having a tough time with that man right now. You got to make an adjustment.
John, the last 3 years for Dez Bryant, 92, 93, and then coming into today, 84 catches. I mean, he has turned into a force, but I think it all ties into the philosophy. It really does. You see the offense is just clicking for the Cowboys in this month of December where they're steamrolling people, but now with running more, Bryant becomes a bigger weapon. Romo throws it less and becomes more accurate. It's all coming together.
It really is. And what I like about teams late in the year and playoffs, can they beat you in a number of ways? Well, the Cowboys can. They beat you with the run. They beat you with power. They spread you out. They can do so much, and they do it well.
Short kick, and it's taken by Niles Paul, reversing field. And the tight end with a decent return out across the 25. Oh, you can ring in the new year on Fox Sports 1. We bring you a marathon of Big East basketball featuring all 10 teams back-to-back, including a showdown between Butler and 7th-ranked Villanova. Our Big East New Year's Eve marathon begins 11:30 Eastern, goes all the way to midnight, only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. 17-7 Dallas with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Pam Oliver, John Lynch, I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Glad to have you along. It's week 17. Now Washington, they had the 69-yard touchdown to Deshaun Jackson earlier. Find themselves down by 10. Morris gets stymied at the line of scrimmage. We've got ourselves a game break with Kurt Menefee.
All right, Houston's got to win for a chance to make the playoffs. Jacksonville thinking otherwise. This is Dwayne Brooks with a pick 6 off Case Keenum, and Jacksonville trying to win 2 straight to end the season. Lead at 10-7, an important game for the Texans. Kevin, John, Pam.
Meanwhile, on second down, Robert Griffin III running for his life and chased down by George Selvey. And we get a flag, it looks like. Is that a flag on the far side? No, I think it was just the yellow shoes of Robert Griffin III. So it'll be a 3rd and long.
It's got to be the shoes.
Got to be the shoes.
You know, I think there's those yellow shoes.
See, just laces anyway.
That's an element, though. People talk about Robert Griffin III in that first year in 2012. I watched him right here run for 70 yards against the Minnesota Vikings. That speed's not here right now. Ankle injuries, knee injuries. He doesn't have the same speed he once had.
They set up a screen coming near side, and that is Jordan Reed, the tight end, but again, shy of a first down. So after the big play touchdown to Jackson, 2 3-and-outs. And this Dallas defense standing up tall, and they'll get the ball back up 10 last minute of the first quarter.
There's Rod Marinelli, the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys, who's done just a tremendous job taking over for Monty Kiffin. And I played on a team that Rod Marinelli coached, and what a wonderful motivator, what a wonderful coach they have.
Harris looking for room, dives forward across the 30, and that's where the Cowboys will take over with 32 seconds to go in the first. Well, another great thing about this Dallas team, they're trying to go undefeated on the road. They're 7-0 this year, and you look at the history of this league, undefeated teams on the road. How about the Rams? They got to the Super Bowl. The Patriots, well, they got to the Super Bowl and lost to the Giants that year in 07. And teams that are that good on the road usually win a lot and get very far, as this graphic shows you right here. A couple of Super Bowl champs.
Evan, you know what I like about what Tony Romo said about that? We said, what do you attribute that? And he said, look, when you're good, you're good. I'd love to try to come up with some explanation, but they have confidence, and Tony said it, that they can go up against anyone, anywhere, and beat them.
Murray still in the game, and this is interesting because I asked Jason Garrett yesterday, hey, what about Murray? And after he gets the record, does he come out? And he said, it's going to be the same plan as last week. We're going to play our guys. And that's, at least for now, it's evidence of it.
Yeah, and please don't misunderstand what I'm saying about what I've seen from DeMarco Murray. He's got 8 rushes, 57 yards. He's still tremendous, but just early in the year, he ran through contact every time. Of late, you haven't seen it so much.
Tony Romo talking to Bill Callahan. DeMarco Murray has the record, and the Cowboys have the lead after 1 quarter from Maryland. Joseph Randle in the game at tailback as we start the second quarter for Dallas. They had 213 yards in the first quarter. And Randle with a short gain on second down. It's 17-7 Cowboys. And we'll watch, see how long the starters play.
And Kevin, David Amerson's having a tough time with Dez Bryant. Watch this play on the fullback, though. Knocking the fullback back into Randle's feet. That's playing football by David Amerson. You're struggling against the pass, you better play the run. That's exactly what he does.
Lance Dunbar, number 25 in the game, on a third down. Romo has Cole Beasley for a first down. He's out to the 41 is Beasley. The Cowboys have already won the division. They very unlikely to get a number 1 seed or a first round bye. Basically need the Lions and Packers to tie and a pig to fly over FedExField. But it can happen, John.
It ain't happening. The Super Bowl ring I wear on my right finger, it's yours next year if it happens. These ties in week 17, come on.
Wait, so I get to wear it the whole year? Romo going deep. There's going to be a flag all over that as Terrence Williams is flat out tackled by David Amerson. That's going to be PI on Washington.
Pass interference. Defense, number 39. Spot of the foul, automatic. First down.
A cornerback is a confidence position. Right now, Amerson's confidence is shaken, and when your confidence is shaken, you start panicking, and that's exactly what he did right there.
This is pitch and catch right now for this Dallas offense. They've got 221 yards, and now at the 32 with a first down. This is Murray, breaks a tackle. Good cut, DeMarco Murray. What a run, and he's got 9 yards. So you're telling me if there's a tie between the Lions and Packers, I get to wear that next year?
Yeah, I feel like I'm proposing to Linda all over, but, you know, it's just Jason Garrett, his motivation for playing, there's that ring. It's not about improving their seed because he knows how little those chances, how minuscule those chances are. It's about keeping your edge, and I couldn't agree more with him. I've been in both positions, and when you play, you stay sharp. I like what Jason Garrett's doing.
And they look extremely sharp today. To Beasley again for a first down, and Cole Beasley down to the 15. Well, should I note that I had our excellent stat man, Jeff Nelson, look it up. And it actually has happened 6 times where the season has, we've had a tie in the last week of the season, and the Packers have been involved in 4 of them, John.
So you're saying you want my ring?
You're telling me there's a chance. That's what I'm telling you. But the bottom line is, I know what you're saying. We were talking earlier, and you said, hey, even just for the week of practice, right? Yeah. So the Cowboys are sharp, and they look razor sharp right now. 1st and 10. DeMarco Murray gets it, running right. Good hits coming up there immediately by Keenan Robinson.
You know, and I think that if we start to see guys come out, what they've gained by a great week of practice, keeping your focus because you're playing, it's a different deal. If you know, even the great veterans in this league, if they know they're taking a week off, they're not going to have the same focus. They've had that focus, and they've taken it to the field in week 17 today.
Cowboys offense so good on the critical plays. 3rd down, and then as you see in the red zone, 2nd in the league with red zone scoring touchdowns like they are right now. And 2nd and 8. Romo, little pressure, steps up and throws, and it's going to be incomplete. It's the first time I believe Romo's been hit today. He's had a lot of time to throw.
You know, and Kevin, there hasn't been a lot of great things with this Washington defense except this guy, Ryan Kerrigan, consistently all year. Watch him just bull rush, dip and rip. He affects Tony Romo on that throw. He's not going to the Pro Bowl, and it's a shame because Ryan Kerrigan has played like a Pro Bowler. 13.5 sacks, 5 forced fumbles. As Tony Romo said, he's a game record.
Third and 8. 4-man rush. Romo throws incomplete, and he gets hits at the same time.
Yeah, they're playing zone coverage here. Eyes on Tony Romo. Looking at Dez. Dez is covered up. Nice job by this Washington defense, just playing your zone, little picket fence defense. They're not going to throw it. If so, we'll react up. Romo has nowhere to throw. Tries to extend the play, but no one comes open.
So now they'll try a 32-yard field goal from Dan Bailey, who had a 36-yarder earlier. This one from 32. Right down the middle from Bailey. And this Cowboys offense just continues to cruise. Romo couldn't get the touchdown, but they had more points.
Today's game is sponsored by Pizza Hut. We're taking pizza where it's never been before. By Pepsi. Pepsi Hype for Halftime, the official sponsor of the Pepsi Super Bowl 49 halftime show. And by Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL.
This Cowboys offense looking crisp. 20 points, 20-7 lead, even though they were stopped in the red zone that time. DeMarco Murray has the new single-season rushing record. Dez Bryant, the new receiving single-season touchdown record. It's been that type of day, and Romo just on fire like he's been all month. 10 of 13, 170 yards and 2 touchdowns. And now they try an onside kick. Would you look at this? And they recover it. How about that? Want to keep that same intensity going? We'll do an onside kick and have Barry Church recover it.
Unbelievable by Jason Garrett. Week 17, you're going for the surprise onside. What a job by Rich Bisaccia, the special teams coach. You see Barry Church fall on it. Ball's loose, but he goes in there and gets it. What a job. Beautiful execution by the Dallas special teams.
Church pounced right on it. Great execution by Danny Steele, one of our expert camera people on the other side of the field too. This answers a lot of questions. They've come out intense, and with no bye, they've stayed red hot. And we were talking to Garrett about so much of this yesterday, and he was so upfront with so many reasons why. John, you've gone over them, but there's one more we haven't. I'll give it to you in a second. As a 1st and 10 from the 49. With Randall in at tailback. He'll get it. And Randall, nowhere to really go. Well, he said, you know, back in 2007, this is when he was the offensive coordinator. We had won the division. We were 13-3. Go to Washington. We decided to rest most of our guys. They get blitzed that week. They lost that game 27-6. He said, I think it took some of the air out of our sails, and I'm not doing that again.
Those things stick with you. They really do. And Jason Garrett, I can't tell you how impressed I've been with him, how he's run this team, the leadership he's shown, and there's another great example. I love what he's doing today.
Blitz. Romo runs around, has James Hanna, the 3rd string tight end, and he's down to the 45. He's going to pick up 2 and a 3rd down.
And there's a little risk to this, Kevin. You know, Tony Romo gets banged up, God forbid. He looks like a bum, Jason Garrett does. And so there's a lot of risk, but he knows through those experiences, the one you specifically stated, that you got to stay sharp. You got to keep your edge. And we've seen in recent years, it's not about who's been the best all year. It's about who's the best right now going into the playoffs. And there's Rich Bisaccia, who's led a tremendous unit all year long, a fabulous special teams coach in Dallas.
3rd down and 6. Romo looking over the middle, knocked away. He was going for Dez Bryant. But it was taken away by Emerson, and we have a penalty away from the play, far side of the field.
I think what you're going to have illegal contact on Breeland at the other side of the field. Automatic 1st down.
Illegal hands to the face. Defense, number 26. 5-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Excuse me, it was the hands to the face. Breeland, very courageous in bump and run. It doesn't have to be much. He catches that right hand on the face mask on Devon Street, and the officials all over it.
You mentioned how you like Breeland. He's a rookie from Clemson, 4th-round draft pick, but that's his 12th penalty of the year. He came in the 5th most penalized player in the league, so that's an area he's got to clean up.
He does, and when you're playing a lot of bump and run, which he likes to play, and I think you have to be an excellent corner in this league, he's going to have to learn that technique, going to have to hone that technique this offseason.
So it's 1st down, and here's Murray. Murray's going to pick up 2 on the carry, brings him up to 69 yards on the day. Romo stays red hot, though he's now got 12 touchdowns, no interceptions in the month of December. Murray has had himself a big day, a 32-yard run mixed in there, and already Bryant approaching 100 yards and 2 touchdowns today. Second down, and Romo's got Beasley. Reverses field, breaks a tackle. Cole Beasley first down, and there's a horse collar penalty. Add 15 to it. E.J. Biggers is the guy.
Personal foul, tackled by the face man. Defense, number 30. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
See the finish of that. Wow. But Cole Beasley, what an addition he's been to this team. And Tony Romo says, look, he flat out understands the game, coverages. He's also got a little juice to him. We just saw that juice. I think when you have the combination of being a very patient route runner, but yet that juice, that quickness that Romo's talked about, he's become a weapon along with Bryant, Terrence Williams, and Jason Witten.
He's got 31 catches coming in. And, you know, John, he's only 5'8", and he had a touchdown against Indy last week where he caught it over the middle and literally ducked under a tackle and ran in. So he's tough to find out there in the land of the Giants. Cowboys knocking on the doorstep again, up 20-7. First and 10. That's Beasley, number 11, in motion. Romo, time. Here's Murray. And a little shake gets him down to the 10. He's going to pick up 4. Where Stephen Bowen made the tackle. Time of possession in this game, right now it's unfair. Almost 17 minutes to 4.5.
Unbelievable. That's the story of their season. They flipped that from last year where they believe were 25th. This year, 2nd in the league. They went up to Seattle, Kevin. 38 minutes they kept the ball and they beat Seattle. Almost impossible to beat Seattle at Seattle, but that's how you do it.
Second and 6. Murray still alive, still going. Touchdown, Dallas. His league-leading 13th rushing touchdown of the year. It's from 9 yards out.
DeMarco Murray says, John Lynn, shut your mouth. I'm running through contact today. Watch Zach Martin, the Pro Bowl, and I believe all-pro right guard, clearing the way. Tyron Smith, another Pro Bowler. And DeMarco Murray showing why he's the league's leading rusher. Running through first contact, second contact, third contact for another touchdown.
This could not go any better for the Cowboys right now. They are absolutely throttling this Washington defense. 269 yards. Washington looking for answers. All Dallas in the second. Oh, what a year for DeMarco Murray. He's going to win the rushing title. He came in with an over 400-yard lead over Le'Veon Bell. Sets the record. New Cowboys single season record. He's got 77 yards and a touchdown today. Dallas in a romp early, and Washington will start out on their own 20. It's been their day, especially for Murray. Into the record books. It's Cowboys offense moving and grooving.
Today's game is sponsored by Visa Checkout, the easier way to pay online. Visa, everywhere you want to be.
The new record holder for the Cowboys, and it's cool that Emmitt Smith is watching today. Emmitt actually just released a statement through the Cowboys, summing up, basically said, I couldn't be happier for him. He's very deserving of this recognition. And I'm proud of him because I know how hard it is to do what he did this year. Also proud because I've watched him bounce back from some injury setbacks in the first few years. That's the gist of what Emmitt said. But nice of him to watch and issue that statement. You know, he was there rooting for him in Dallas last week. Classy stuff from Emmitt Smith today. As now Washington has been uppercutted to the jaw with this start, down 27-7.
Now that's exactly what Emmitt Smith is, a class act, and not only the NFL's all-time leading rusher. I had the opportunity to play against him. Whoa, what a player. What a player. And, you know, you talk about how reminiscent this team is of Emmitt's teams. very similar running styles. They ran through contact, and they ran behind a great offensive line. And that's what the Cowboys have. And Tony Romo is also the beneficiary of that.
It's going to be a keeper for Griffin III, and he's going to slide down right near a first down. I think they're going to mark it a little bit short, and now the mark on the near side is well short of a first down.
Kevin, we had the discussion earlier about the zone read. That play didn't look like much. That's 5 yards.
Yeah.
5 yards are hard to get in this league. The zone read is a valuable part of any team's offense, particularly when you have a quarterback with the speed of Robert Griffin III.
Santana Moss out on the field for the first time today, the 35-year-old. He's in the slot. They're going to run it to Morris. Morris looking for a seam, first down. Alfred Morris. And Alfred Morris with a big run into Cowboy territory. 22-yard pickup for Morris.
Well, Mike Shanahan found Alfred Morris down at FIU, Florida International, and the running style works in this league. It's the classic one-cut runner. Put the foot in the ground. He's strong, much like DeMarco Murray, can run through contact. And Jordan Reed doing a nice job, but they just have to stay in games to be able to utilize Alfred Morris. They've been behind so much this year that his production's gone down.
Still another 1,000-yard season for him. And now they're going to toss it to Morris, and he gets tackled immediately. He had nowhere to go because Barry Church came up and made the hit.
Correction, Alfred Morris went to Florida Atlantic rather than Florida International.
A lot of schools in Florida, John. I found that in my research, so you're forgiven. You know, you're right. His production is down, but he's got the second most rushing yards since 2012. Only Marshawn Lynch has more. It's been a really good start to a career for a guy that no one thought much of because he ran a 4.6 40. You know what? That's not everything in this league. Second down. They'll throw it over the middle, and got a completion. It's Ryan Grant making the catch. Game break time. Let's check in with Joel Klatt.
All right, Kev, let's go out to Kansas City. San Diego, it's simple. Win, and they're the 6th seed in the AFC. They were down 10 early, but that's a quick touchdown from Brandon Oliver from 1 yard out. It's 10-7. Kevin and John.
And Chase Daniel starting that game for the Chiefs. A lacerated spleen injury for Alex Smith. And Daniel's a pretty good backup, though, to have.
Learned from Drew Brees down there in New Orleans.
Not bad. 3rd and 1. Keeper for Robert Griffin III. First down. Good cuts. And a penalty flag, too, so hang on. Penalty is down at the 38. This is obviously a first down, but it may be coming back.
Holding. Offense, number 86. 10-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
They catch Jordan Reed. Here's Jordan Reed, the tight end, working on J.J. Wilcox. And there's that left hand. He's got a handful of jersey. Typically when you have it within the framework of that body of his, they don't call it, but you can understand certainly why the officials would call that.
And so that'll move it on back, and now it'll be a 3rd down and long. Looking, Griffin III in trouble. Down he goes. The pressure came right up the gut. It's Tyrone Crawford who gets the sack. And a penalty, though, from the secondary at the 34. This one may be on Dallas.
While the quarterback was in the pocket prior to the pass, holding. Defense, number 20. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's on Tyler Patman, the rookie cornerback, and so back-to-back penalties, this one benefiting Washington.
Oh, and that's a killer. I mean, Tyrone Crawford had the sack of Robert Griffin III. Patman, the rookie, in there. They get him for the hold. Now first down.
So Washington trying to build a little momentum here. 7th play of this drive. Going to pitch out, and a little fake reverse, and well done to the Halou. Still going. Roy Halou Jr. moves the chains. He's inside the 30. And it's a 14-yard run.
This is good stuff. Little Harlem Globetrotters by Roy Halou Jr. Watch, you got Deshaun Jackson coming. He looks like the flip, hides it behind his back, and then he takes off. That's fun, and that's nice design by Roy Halou Jr.
I believe Curly Neal just called, John. That was good, and it worked. So Halou picks up 14. And a 1st and 10 with 3:23 to go in the half. Alfred Morris back in the game from the pistol formation. Griffin III has time, airing it out for the end zone into Nowheresville. There's double coverage there as Wilcox came over the safety. They're looking for Santana Moss.
Well, here's this holding penalty from earlier. There's Patman. This is on that 3rd down play. He's covering Andre Roberts in the slot after 5 yards, and you can see him kind of tugging on that right shoulder. Crucial play and critical error for Tyler Patman.
Morris tripped up and then stacked up for a gain of 1.5 and a 3rd and long. It's coming up. Nick Hayden, the nose tackle from Wisconsin, their first.
Kevin, we just saw at the end of that play, when you watch Dallas play and why they're better this year, sometimes it's real simple. They get to the football. And you just saw 7, 8 guys on that football, on that tackle at the end of the play. Rod Marinelli preaches it every day. They're an excellent tackling team. The little things they're doing well is taking them to new heights on defense.
3rd down. Griffin III over the middle. He's got it to Reed. And a big 1st down conversion. Gang tackled at the 11. But a connection for a 1st down. So some momentum and some positives for Washington with a 16-yard gain.
And this is huge for Robert Griffin III because this is what Jay Gruden, the problem he's had in the pocket. You can't play action on 3rd and 7. You got to be able to throw from the pocket. That's exactly what he does. A good accurate throw to Jordan Reed, moving the chains.
Now we get a whistle. That's the 2-minute warning.
This is the 2-minute warning.
The Washington knocking on the doorstep. Down 20 here. 2 minutes to go in the 1st half. You can follow your favorite team. Just go to iTunes.com/NFL. Good drive for Washington. 11th play of it. 2 minutes to go in the half. They'll pitch it out to Morris. Cut back. And stacked up at about the 7-yard line. So Morris is going to pick up around 4. It'll be a 2nd down. They can get a 1st down inside the 2. It's Cowboys defense. And when you look at them overall, look at some whistles on the play now. Timeout is called. And there's an injured Cowboy. That's why. Who's down? Well, it's the rookie Anthony Hitchens, who's played very well and starting at middle linebackers today for Rolando McClain, who's out.
And that's tough because Rolando McClain stayed home in Dallas. He's replacing him. Now you're down to your 3rd middle linebacker, and that's tough on these Cowboys.
Hitchens played well against the Colts last week, had his first career interception. McClain had an illness. He had a 102 fever, so they left him home. Let's see where he got hurt or tried to.
There he is right there. 59. He got his ankle rolled up by 66 Chester. You got to get away from those piles because that's what can happen around those.
He's really been quite a player for Rod Marinelli. Sean Lee has been out all year. He's another guy who they really haven't had for 2 years with various injuries, but he's awesome when he's in there. So
Kevin,
Hitchens and Lee and McClain.
Sorry, you talk about though, I mean, moving forward, they got this year, which I just told you what I think of him. You see Hitchens' ankle right there. There it is. But you imagine a linebacking core. McClain, the way he's played, he's been a huge presence in that middle. Sean Lee at your weak side linebacker and Hitchens on that field all at once. Watch out. You'd have one of the better linebacking cores in football.
Yeah, in McLean, you know, their hope is to get him healthy. He had been banged up. He hurt his right knee against Arizona. Been playing kind of banged up there. Hope to get him healthy, because you pointed out, and you were showing me some film and things. He has just been quite the find. A guy that was retired. It had not gone well. He had not played well. He had some incidents off the field with the law. Cowboys traded for him, and he had a great year. Second down at 6. Halou in the game in the backfield. They'll fake it to him. On the run. Here comes pressure, and Griffin III throws it away. He had good heat from George Selby that time. Someone's got a souvenir.
That's a smart play by Robert Griffin III. He rolls out to his right. They try to catch the Cowboys with the movement. Nobody open. You got coverage here. You got coverage there. Now you throw it to a fan in the stands.
Not coverage there.
And you got a happy young man. Threw it to the wrong team, though.
Exactly. They can get a first down inside the 2. Looking left, pumps, now throwing in the flat, tripped, incomplete. He was looking over there trying to get it to Halou, but a little late, and it bounced around, and now they'll have to settle for a field goal.
Not a bad throw. He tries to go to the slant. It's not there. Throws it a little bit behind Halou, but that's a ball that should be caught. I think he's short of the first down, even if he does bring it in.
Bruce Carter was there on the coverage, so after a 13-play drive, they'll have to settle for a field goal try from Kai Forback. Could be a 25-yarder. Kick is up and good. So Washington gets on the board, still trailing big to the Cowboys. 1:20 to go in the second. Stars of the Cowboys today against yesteryear. The triplets back then, Irvin and Aikman and Emmitt, and maybe the new big 3 now with Dez Bryant and Tony Romo and DeMarco Murray. Certainly have put up the superlatives. Now what the triplets had was Super Bowls.
I tell you, I'm a believer. I really am. I think they've been magnificent at each of those positions. It really presents a pick your poison situation when you got Murray running at you and Dez Bryant outside.
Harris will let this one bounce out of the back end of the end zone. And so 1:20 to go in the half, 27-10. And you look at some of these superlatives here. I mean, Murray's going to be your rushing leader. He's the single season record holder now. Dez Bryant, 16 touchdown catches. That's a new Cowboys single season record. And Romo, this picked up some steam this week about he being in the MVP conversation. He's really adding to the case today.
He's making it tough. Aaron Rodgers better perform today, because I think Aaron Rodgers is the favorite. But when you're 13-16 with 2 more touchdowns, 0 interceptions today, Romo's been phenomenal this year.
2 timeouts for the Cowboys. 1:20 to go in the half. They're going to give a little draw. Dunbar makes a couple people miss. Look at this. Lance Dunbar flag thrown back at the 30. Dunbar still going, and he's all the way in. Let's see what the penalty is, but Lance Dunbar takes it all the way.
Holding. Offense, number 82. 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Jason Witten's going to be working against Perry Riley in the middle of the field. There's a phrase the officials use, feet beat. When your feet are beat and you hold and restrict, they generally call it. And Jason Witten's such a good blocker at the tight end position. You see his feet beat, and he has a handful of jersey, and the back judge sees it. But we're just seeing, I think, a taste, Kevin, of how explosive this Cowboy offense is in the run game, in the pass game, and we're also seeing poor defense by the Washington Redskins.
Not bad when your third running back could take it 80 yards. And Dunbar's been a good receiving threat this year, so that's not like he's brand new to this thing. Aerial coverage today provided by Nationwide with some awesome shots from above from our cable cam. So that'll move it back. With 1:01 to go and 2 timeouts. It'll be a first down and 16. Looks near side. Now Romo flushed out. In trouble. Dumps it off over the middle. And he's got Murray. And Murray works his way out near the line of scrimmage.
Hey, Kevin, you know, we talked about
Timeout, Washington.
the triplets, the big three, but it starts up front. And that same way with that old Cowboys team with Troy, Emmitt, and Michael Irvin. These guys, it's unbelievable. Jason Garrett told us 3 to 4 years ago they were doing it with smoke and mirrors at the O-line position. What'd they do? And you got to credit Jerry Jones and their front office. They did something about it. Tyron Smith, first round. Frederick at the center position, first round. And this year, Zach Martin. They're all going to the Pro Bowl, deservedly so, and it's changed the fortunes of this team.
Yeah, it really has. Bill Callahan, the guy who's coaching them. And you know, they had guys like Flozell Adams, Mark Colombo, Leonard Davis, Andre Gerard, guys who were good players, but had gotten old and made good money at the same time. And so it's almost like you had to hit the reset and just knew that you're going to take your lumps initially. Well, they're not taking any lumps anymore. They've drafted well, and all 3 first-round picks have paid off. It's Parnell, number 78, who's getting a start for Doug Free, who's hurt today. Here's Beasley. Old Beasley gets a block, makes a move, and Beasley out to the 39.
Yeah, you see Cole Beasley running. Well, if he's running like that, someone's doing the blocking. And that time it was Dez Bryant. 16 touchdowns on the year. But when you're special as a team, no one's too big for any job. And Dez Bryant showing that he's not too big to block for his buddy Cole Beasley. Kevin, you talk this Pro Bowl offensive line. Watch Frederick, the second-year center. Martin, the combo. The huge alley for DeMarco Murray. Zach Martin pulling. What an athlete he is. And then the left tackle. You better have a good left tackle if you want to throw it in this league. And Tyron Smith, he's a wall on that left side for Tony Romo. This offensive line is tremendous. By far and away, to me, the best offensive line in football.
They've earned it. 3 Pro Bowl nods. Coming up, Visa halftime show. Get you caught up on the big KC San Diego game. Chargers winning their in, and plenty of other stuff going on with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. That's coming up in 39 seconds. 1 timeout left for the Cowboys. Play clock at 2, and they're going to have to call their final timeout. Well, I just told you what happened, but it's better to hear it from the horse's mouth. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee. What's coming up?
Coming up on the Visa halftime, the final spot in the AFC will be determined today. The Chargers win over Kansas City. They're in. If they lose, then Baltimore is in with a win. If they lose, well, then it's Houston and it's Kansas City and a whole lot to talk about, all on the Visa halftime.
So it seemed after the Chargers came back and beat the 49ers, they're in good position, right? And the Chiefs without Alex Smith. Well, look at this. 16-7 behind Chase Daniel today. And Baltimore, you'd think a lot because the Browns have a 3rd-string quarterback starting today. So guess what? If the Chiefs win and the Ravens lose, then Kansas City sneaks into the playoffs.
Unbelievable. Let me tell you something. It's not done, though, with Phillip Rivers. We saw that comeback at San Francisco. Tougher, though, when you got Justin Houston and Tamba Hali breathing down your neck.
So now Dallas is out of timeouts. They got 39 seconds to go. And you know what? They gave them a timeout back. That was a penalty, a delay of game. They didn't get the timeout there. They have 1 left. Romo, flush, locks, loads, firing it deep down the field for Beasley. Incomplete, no flags. He was double covered there, but Romo wisely just taking a shot.
And that reminds me, when I watch Cole Beasley, Kev, the guy I think about is Randall Cobb from Green Bay. And something very similar there. What he has a great knack for, when Tony Romo extends the play, which Romo's very proficient at doing, much like Randall Cobb, he's got a great way of finding the open space. There, Beasley tries to get behind the coverage, but a nice job by E.J. Bigger staying with him.
Another big day for Romo. He had only 2 incompletions against Indianapolis last week. Play clock at 1. Get it off. Pressure comes. He gets rid of it to Witten. Jason Witten has another catch today. And he's out across the 45 with 23 seconds to go. I'm imagining Dallas will call their final timeout. And they do. So they're out of timeouts with 23 seconds to go and a third down coming up. Have you heard about the new show Empire? Well, guess what? It's coming in January, starring Terrence Howard as hip-hop mogul Taraji P. Henson as his just-out-of-prison ex-wife. If you love high drama and amazing music, this is the show for you. Empire premieres Wednesday, January 7th on Fox. Can you believe it's week 17 already? I mean, here we go, figuring all these playoff implications, and the playoffs are going next week.
Best time of the year right here. You just had Christmas. You got teams vying for playoff spots. And here we go. Playoff football on the way.
And Jason Garrett, true to his word, has played his starting unit the entire half. Up 27-10, looking for more with 23 seconds to go before the break. Romo fumbles, kick backwards. Romo's going to get on it. Now he's dragged down and taken down by Keenan Robertson. And that, you would think Washington would call a timeout here, or at least get the punt with it being fourth down, time ticking away.
That's right in Romo's breadbasket. Then Parnell kicks it. This is an old football follies play. But Romo secures the ball, and there's Keenan Robinson to bring him down.
Surprised Washington didn't take a timeout, but the half ends with the Cowboys up 27-10. Good half for Dallas. Halftime show, a lot to do with Send It to LA with Kurt Menefee. Kurt. I think getting to the playoffs now is just as much about getting hot in the right time as it used to be about getting that bye, getting home field. And today's excitement in this Cowboy great first half, DeMarco Murray. It's brought to you by Nissan. 1,822 rush yards. He's going to win the rush title in the league. He breaks Emmitt Smith's single-season rushing record. And the reason why I mentioned that about getting hot, Cowboys are hot at the right time, John. And the reason why they played the starters is because Jason Garrett wanted to remain that way.
You got to keep that edge. It's hard to keep. It's hard to maintain. They've kept the edge.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been awesome. Romo's been incredible. 16 of 20, 225 yards, 2 touchdowns. DeMarco Murray, we talked about the record. More importantly to me, he's running with authority. And Dez Bryant, so explosive. You're seeing why this Dallas Cowboys team is a team to be reckoned with in these playoffs.
Meanwhile, short kick is going to be taken by the up man there for Washington. And now the question for Jason Garrett and company is, they're going to play anybody anymore, starters anymore. I mean, they've played them the entire first half. They played great. And the big three have been all contributing in a big way. A couple touchdowns for Bryant, one for Murray. Romo staying red hot now in this month of December.
One thing I found humorous, Kevin, we were talking to Jason about it at our production meeting. He said, John, it's not like we got 46 new guys. I mean, you're only given 46 that are active. So everyone's got to play. Most of the starters are still in there, and we'll see how long it goes.
Robert Griffin III. And had the ball for all that long in the first half. On the fake, steps up, hits Morris. Room to run at first down for Alfred Morris. He's out to the 44-yard line. So Morris with a nice little pickup of 17. They didn't have the ball too long, John. Griffin III did the long touchdown pass to Deshaun Jackson, which was essentially just a screen. How do you evaluate his first half?
You know, you see the numbers, they're pretty decent. I think he acquitted himself fairly well. I think what Jay Gruden is also learning how to best utilize him. Quick throws, play action throws, using a little zone read. I think they're starting to understand each other a little better.
Pitch out, Morris cuts back, and Morris gets near the 49. We'll get out on the sideline, say hello to Pam Oliver.
Hey there, Kevin. I walked off with Jason Garrett, and we had a kind of comical conversation. I said, well, who's going to play in the second half? He says, we'll play. I'm like, well, who specifically is going to play? He said, I really just don't know, but it was going to be a staff decision. Talking to Jay Gruden, he was hopping mad. He says, we need some defense. But I asked him what this second half is really about. He says it's the future. We want to know who the future Redskins will be. I want to know who loves this game. Back to you.
Griffin, the third, throws to Reed for a first down. And a good start to this third quarter. You know, and what Pam is saying there, he really was going over that with us yesterday too, John, and how this game is important.
You see this throw, a little behind Reed. It's an excellent throw, catch by Reed, but that's so critical. You know, I played for his brother for years, John Gruden. He used to talk do you love football? Do you love football? And this game reveals that when you have nothing to play for in terms of playoff aspirations, you're going to see who loves football, and we're seeing that out there today.
Here's Halou Jr., gain of 1 on that play. He told us, you know, Jay Gruden, we knew it was going to be a challenge. They were 3-13, and it wasn't like Mike Shanahan didn't know anything about football. And said there were some glaring needs on this team from a personnel standpoint. And I think when you're looking at this team, clearly the quarterback, which we'll get to, but they need help on defense too, and they've got to figure that thing out. Fake, some time, now the pocket collapses, and down he goes. Coming in to finish it off, it looked like George Selby, but Mincy, I believe, got there first.
And then that's an illustration of some of the things that need to be improved upon. Little play action, zone read fake. Now you got to get back, and at a certain point, if no one's there, get rid of the football. Throw it away. Throw it out of bounds. Instead, now you set up a 3rd and 15 plus situation. You can't do it. And those are the things that Jay Gruden's talking about that has to evolve in Robert Griffin III's game.
Redskins 2 of 5 on 3rd down today, but they're 30th in the league in that department. Near side wide open is Halou Jr. Needs a way to go for the first down. Breaks a tackle and still fights his way. Good work by Halou Jr. They're going to mark it down at about the 37. A report on Anthony Hitchens, that rookie linebacker. We showed you he got hurt just before the half. They say ankle injury and questionable to return. Meanwhile, on a 4th down, Washington will go for it here.
And I think this is a no-brainer. You want to see, is RG3 your starter moving forward? You got to give him opportunities in pressure situations. Well, none better than a 4th down situation.
Worse in the NFL, 4 of 14 on 4th down. 4-man rush. Fires over the middle in traffic. Reed, and he caught it, but he didn't get it. That is going to be short. At least the initial marking is. Oh, yeah. That looks well short of a first down. He caught it and was stuck immediately, and the Cowboys should take over.
He found his guy in Jordan Reed running a little choice route, and that is short. That's an unofficial, and that's on Jordan Reed. That's a choice route. Now, on that choice route, you better get to the sticks and beyond. He cuts it short. That's not on Robert Griffin III. That's on Jordan Reed.
They are going to measure it, but even just looking at our replay, there's no way he got it. Nope. Washington comes up short. Cowboys take over. So a good drive goes for naught. 17-point lead for Dallas. Maybe Robo coming back out for more.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. By Burger King. Mix and match 2 large premium sandwiches for just $5 only at Burger King. And by ExxonMobil.
Cool shot, our nation's capital. But it's raining today as Joe Gibbs is here today with Daniel Snyder, the Washington owner, on your right. Obviously not thrilled with what's going down. So Jason Garrett leaves the starters in to start this third, and Romo over the middle looking for Dez Bryant. Incomplete. Tony Romo has made his case to push for the MVP. Why? With a December that has been unbelievable. Look how his Decembers have been. He's gotten ridiculed for some failures in that month after historically being great in November. This December has been out of control. Look at that rating.
So much of life, so much of this league is how you finish. You can't finish any better. His first half was an example of it, and that's why these Cowboys, I'm telling you, are a team to be reckoned with. With Tony Romo playing like this, the offensive line, DeMarco Murray running, they are tough to beat.
And Murray's still in there. So ball comes out late, but they say that he was down. Jason Garrett, true to his word when he told us yesterday, hey, we're going to play a lot like last week. And, you know, they took, look, you'll see he recovers this anyway. He's down. But last week, John, against the Colts, they were up that game 28-0 before you could blink, and they kept their starters until about 11 minutes to go in the game.
Jason Garrett, true to his word, he's keeping them all out there.
Third down and 7. Romo for Beasley, incomplete. And the Cowboys will have to punt for once.
It's a rare little miscommunication between Tony Romo and Cole Beasley. Usually these two, for guys that haven't worked together too long, are so in sync. And you see Romo, that's a great shot. Looking at the Jumbotron in the stadium, showing Beasley, hey, this is where I wanted you to go. And that's part of the communication that has made these guys so effective this year.
First punt of the game for Jones. Roberts backtracks all the way to the 10. Looking for something. Kyle Wilbur is there, and he brings him down. Nice tackle, nice coverage by the Cowboys after the 53-yard punt. 27-10, Dallas. Aerial coverage today provided by Nationwide. 27-10 the score. Cowboys up in this one in the third quarter. Jay Gruden, talking to him yesterday, told us how important today's game was for evaluating things after they beat the Eagles and knocked them out of the playoffs last week. Well, it hasn't been great so far, that's for sure. Morris had nowhere to go.
That's really what this defense, Kevin, is all about. It's about penetration. Watch Jeremy Mincy. Unblocked. Niles Paul's got to do a better job than that. But penetration kills running games. It kills passing games. And having played in this defense, when you get penetration on a regular basis from your defensive lineman, watch out.
And now we get a penalty. So they'll sort this out with Jerome Boger, our referee.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 93. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
It's on Anthony Spencer. John, that's Tom Stable, head linesman today, retiring after 20 years. After this one, lives in the D.C. area, so congrats to Tom for a nice career.
Congrats, Tom.
Griffin the third, back to throw over the middle, has a short completion. It's Jordan Reed again. Well, John, what's the quarterback? Let's stay there, because we were talking to Gruden. We know, look, Griffin the third got hurt, came back, and then they weren't playing well, and he got benched. And Jay Gruden said, look, we're trying to find an answer to that position. I don't care who it is. It's not like I don't like Robert. And I think he made it very clear to us, and he has too. He's been open in his press conferences that he's impartial to who steps forward and takes that job. And Colt McCoy, I think, was starting to a little bit, and then he got hurt. Griffin the third trying to earn it back today. 3rd and 3. Steps up, batted down at the line of scrimmage. Might have been Spencer, and it was, who jumped up and got it. And now tempers flare, and we get a penalty.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 71. Throw to the head of the opponent, half the distance to the goal, 4th down.
Yeah, that's frustration setting in for Trent Williams after Spencer knocks down the ball. You see Anthony Spencer, who's been coming on of late, a little ET game coming down, knocks down the ball. It's on the other side of the field that Trent Williams comes in there, but that's just frustration, nothing more.
Dwayne Harris will let this one bounce. And it takes a Dallas bounce, and the Cowboys will take over in Washington territory, up 27-10 in the 3rd.
Today's game is sponsored by American Sniper from Warner Brothers Pictures, now playing in select theaters everywhere January 16th.
Back here in Landover, Maryland. It's been all Cowboys for the most part today, trying to finish up on the road undefeated. And they have looked, for the most part of today, tremendous. Up 27-10 against their rivals. And they have the football starting off in Washington territory. Here's Murray, and a good stick. And we're happy right now to be joined by the studio from Jimmy Johnson, already at college football. Hold on a second, Jimmy. There's a little fracas going on here. Jimmy will join us in a second. Jimmy's College Football Hall of Famer. I was going to say he's a semifinalist in 2015 for the Pro Football Hall of Famer, and he should get there. We know that. But, Jimmy, it's so nice to have you in here. And first of all, you're watching this team. We've been talking all broadcast about similarities. Do you see any with your Super Bowl winning teams to this team, this Cowboy team right now?
Well, without question, offensively, they've got the offensive line. They're able to run the football. People always talked about Troy Aikman, why he didn't have big numbers. Well, he didn't have big numbers because we didn't need to throw the football. We set it up with the run, and that way Troy could pick and choose as far as where he was going to throw the football, and we were able to put points. Now, where there is a difference, we won back-to-back Super Bowls with the #1 defense in the league.
All right, Coach, you know, you just talked about Troy, and I'm watching Tony Romo, and I'm seeing a guy play the best I think I've ever seen him play.
Yeah.
Are you feel the same way, and if so, why?
Well, John, I think the running game is what is helping Tony Romo. Tony Romo had to carry this football team on his back for really the last 4 or 5 years. And, you know, if you're carrying a football team, you're throwing it as much as what he did, he was going to make some mistakes. Now, he can throw it when he wants to throw it because they've got the great running game.
Murray's going to be short, so it'll be a 4th and short here. I'm assuming that Jason Garrett will go it. Hey, Jimmy, how about the coaching spot here? You know, Jason Garrett said he was going to play his guys, and so far it's worked. Are you getting to the point now where you're like, okay, we're going to take these guys out of here? What's your take there?
Well, first of all, let me say Jason Garrett has done a fabulous job this year. Done a great job. I think being the overseer of watching all 3 phases has made him a better coach and really could be a candidate for Coach of the Year. But as far as playing these players, yeah, I would have played them early in the ball game and probably pulled them out. You know, they've got momentum going into the playoffs. They've made their point. They're going to win this game. Now protect your players.
Jimmy Johnson joining us from the studio. We'll see you post-game. Thanks, Jimmy. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys.
That was awesome.
All right, John.
Good to have him on and join us for a little bit here. And there was a thing or two about winning in Dallas. They opted to punt, by the way, so they won't go for it. And Roberts calls a fair catch. That's where we'll see Robert Griffin III take over inside the 10. Dez Bryant's like, come on, man, let's go. Cowboys actually had a punt as Jason Witten, he's had a nice day today. Looking out with Mike Pope, who's the tight ends coach for Dallas. Washington football, Robert Griffin III, incomplete for Alfred Morris. Here's what's going on in the AFC right now. Chase Daniel and the Kansas City Chiefs are leading the Chargers. All they need to do is win and get in. Daniel's having a decent game so far. And how about that? If the Chargers were to lose, then it's in the Ravens' driver's seat, and they're losing to the Browns with a third-string quarterback in there today. Connor Shaw starting at quarterback. And so now what happens if they both lose? Well, then it comes down to the Chiefs and the Texans. The Texans with the win, they can actually get in if that current situation holds. And they're beating the Jags 14-10. Griffin III gets it to Garcon. Good blocks here. Garcon. Good move. Garcon out across midfield in a big game. That worked before to Deshaun Jackson for a 69-yard touchdown, and it works here for 46.
Well, as they say, deja vu all over again. Trent Williams out on a DB. This time the only change is Pierre Garçon instead of Deshaun Jackson. Run it more, it's working.
I'm more impressed by the teeth he's got painted on the mouthpiece there. That's some mouthpiece by Pierre. Got the teeth painted on. Good run and catch. Zone read. Griffin the third gets decked and hangs on. Well, he took a shot by Brandon Carr. And that's the reason they got away from the zone read in the first place, isn't it?
That's the fear. You watch Russell Wilson, he never gets hit hard. Robert Griffin III does. He's faster more so than quick. He runs high. He is tall. He's a long strider. As a result, he's going to take some hits. And as your franchise quarterback, coaches aren't so sure, particularly a guy with the injury history that Robert Griffin III has had.
So a 2nd and 4. Morris. Good cut back. Alfred Morris has a first down. While he does, we have a game break. Checking in with Joel Klatt.
All right, Kevin, let's show you what happened in that Cleveland-Baltimore game. Terrence West in from 2 yards out. Connor Shaw playing great. Remember, Steve Spurrier, the old ball coach, said he was one of the best competitors at the quarterback position he ever had at South Carolina. He's got his team up 10-3. Kevin and John.
Yeah, and by the way, Josh Gordon was suspended for that game, so they're just going to put on the field and go ahead and beat Baltimore. That's just insane. So the Texans right now, as it stands, are sneaking in the playoffs. Obviously a long way to go. First down, blitz coming. Griffin the third unloads. It's Jackson. Makes the catch. Here's the speed. Gets a block. And now we get a penalty. Andre Roberts was the guy on the block. It looked good in real speed, but we'll have to see a replay if it was a penalty. Jackson may be hurt.
I'll tell you the one thing, though. I'm liking the rhythm that Robert Griffin III's playing with. He's getting back, getting rid of the ball, throwing it accurately. Some of them are easy throws, but that's what's going on in this league. I've been impressed. That was a blitz. He got the ball out, got it to the right guy. Here's Andre Roberts coming in on Brandon Carr. Help me out, Kevin.
I mean, look, he got him in the back.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, it's you know, real time from here. I didn't think about it. You show the replay, he got him in the back.
Rules are rules. Got to get your head across the bow. If he does that, he's got a better chance of not being called there.
Let's see Jackson. Did he roll that ankle?
He did.
The knee? Yeah, that 69-yard touchdown in the first quarter early, and that's the first time he's caught a ball since. There's still discussion.
There are no fouls on the play. There is no illegal block in the back and no horse collar on the tackle. First down, Washington.
Good job by Jerome Boger to go through and discuss it with his officials, and then must have listened to you, John.
Way to
Hold
go,
up the flag. Meanwhile, it's a 17-yard gain to Jackson. He kind of limped off after going down awkwardly. And this is a good drive for Washington. Picked up 74 yards on the drive. Now trying to punch it home. From the 16, they'll sling it out to Roberts. And Roberts gets through the initial line inside the 10, and he's dragged down by Sterling Moore.
And I've mentioned it a couple times, but I like the game that Jay Gruden's calling. The simple, easy throws. It's not just happening here in Washington. We're seeing teams all over the league, and until they adjust to it, throw them all day. Make them make tackles in space. And that's a positive gain right there for 8 yards.
Sean Jackson back in, number 11 at the top of your screen, so he's okay on a 2nd and 3. Morris falls forward, and he'll be a little bit shy of a first down. Good drive for Griffin III, and you know what? He's had a pretty good day. He's 15 of 21 for 233 yards, and you hit it. Passes short at the line of scrimmage. They just haven't had the ball. Having it a little more, he had a good drive to end the half. Couldn't convert a touchdown, and now a good drive here. 3rd down and a long one. It's a fake, pressured by Spencer, gets rid of it, and incomplete. He had no choice. Spencer did not fall for the fake, right in his face. Looking for Paulson, and a 4th and 1.
Look, and Jay Gruden's not hesitating to keep his offense out there. But I'll tell you what, Anthony Spencer, as I'm watching the film, you're going to see the edge pressure. Remember, he struggled with his knees the last couple of years. He's coming on the last couple of weeks. He looks like a guy whose legs are coming underneath him. And Kevin, this is a team that doesn't have a dominant pass rusher. He's the closest they have when right. I'm starting to see some juice, and that bodes well for the Cowboys.
He's coming back from microfracture surgery. 4th down and a long yard here. Blitz picked up, throws, intercepted by Bruce Carter. Carter with a block. He's caught from the side. He's out to the 40, and so much for good feelings.
And you can't throw that. I mean, it's into multiple guys going that way, including Bruce Carter, Robert Griffin III. You have to make good, quick decisions in this league. Tries to get it into too small of a window, and Bruce Carter takes it the other way. And we've seen the good and bad from Robert Griffin III. Here's the previous play. Makes a heck of an athletic throw. Brandon Carr gets his left hand in there. The next play, you got to get balls in tight windows in the red zone, not that tight. He's got Bruce Carter right there. If he doesn't get it, Cameron Lawrence, the other linebacker, coming that way. Decision-making so critical to quarterback play in this league.
Starters remain in. DeMarco Murray gets the ball on 1st down. It doesn't go anywhere. He's got 89 yards in the game, staying in here. Griffin III put together a really nice drive at the play. Maybe could have been made. Tough play on the blitz by Spencer, and then the interception on 4th down.
And we just saw those numbers. You look at the last couple of weeks. New York Giants, week 15, 18-27, 236, 1 TD. Philly in a win, 16-23, 220. So he's playing better. He's playing more efficient. It's decisions like that that will get you in trouble.
Romo knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Stephen Bowen, I think, is the guy that got a game break. Let's check in with Joel one more time.
All right, Kevin, crazy AFC. Here we go. Blake Bortles passes it to Cecil Shorts. He throws it then to Jordan Todman for 23-yard touchdown. That puts Jacksonville up 17-14. Along with Cleveland beating Baltimore, Kansas City with a win over San Diego. They're up 19-7, would go to the AFC playoffs. There'll be a quiz later. Kevin and John.
So the Chiefs needed 3 teams to lose, and obviously one of those was them beating San Diego, and it's all happening right now. Did we bet the Super Bowl ring on that scenario, or just the tie with the Packers Lions? 3rd down, blitz coming, picked up, and Romo throws incomplete. He was looking for Bryant, coverage by Emerson, and the Cowboys will have to punt it away. The Redskins defense played better so far in this 3rd quarter.
Look, I'm with Coach Johnson too. I mean, we're seeing Tony Romo, Dez Bryant, DeMarco Murray still out there, and I think at some point Jason Garrett's got to discretion the better part of valor and pull these guys and allow some of the backups to play.
And so Robert Griffin III will try one more time from deep in his own territory. Saturday, the UFC returns to Fox Sports 1 for UFC 182 prelims, featuring a lightweight bout between Danny Castillo and undefeated Paul Felder, plus other epic bouts. Coverage begins 7 p.m. Eastern. It's only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Well, you mentioned Jimmy Johnson, and the Hall of Fame would be right to include him and you, partner, in that class, that's for sure, because you both belong in Canton. And when you talk about great coaches, Coach of the Year this year is just filled with all kinds of good candidates. You could make a case for each of those guys and maybe add another one in or two in there, like Mike McCarthy and company. Robert Griffin III is going to have a completion and a 1st down. That's the tight end, Niles Paul. Who do you like in this class?
Well, first of all, Jimmy Johnson, he picked Bruce Arians, and he said he did more with less. I agree, but I think we live in a what have you done for me lately world, and that started to skid a little bit with all the quarterback problems. I think Jason Garrett has made a nice nice claim on this award with the way the decision to play his guys today, the way he's played. Pete Carroll, it's a tough. There's no clear cut. I better come up with it because I have a vote and I don't have the answer yet.
Morris has the carry on first down and long. You know, there's so many interesting takes there. You know, I think you could also make a case for Pete Carroll, and you say, well, wait a second, they won the Super Bowl. But you know how hard it is to repeat, and they weren't there at the beginning of the year, and now he's got them playing like they did last year.
What about Jim Caldwell? A lot of talent up there in Detroit, but they've had that for years. They needed some discipline. He's brought it, and look where they are. They're playing today for the division title.
I don't think there's any doubt that Caldwell has changed the culture. And all you need to do is an incompletion on second and long. Just think about Detroit. They've always had the talented players, especially on the defensive line, never really put together. Well, they've got the #1 defense in the league. I think that says enough about what he's done to kind of congeal that team and get them playing together.
And I think Jason Garrett, very representative of what's going on in this Cowboys team. People checking their egos at the door. No longer the play caller, stepping back, being a head coach. Scott Linehan comes in. Bill Callahan steps back. Jason Witten says, I know I won't get the catches. Everybody putting the team first. And I think Jason deserves a lot of credit for putting that type of mindset in that team.
Look at this. Good move. Griffin III lunging out for the first down marker. Siri went out of bounds, and I believe he stepped out well shy. So he ran away from the pressure, but could not get to the chains.
Now, you can't say he's not playing with great effort. I mean, this is nothing there. He finds the soft spot, eludes it, and just can't quite get around the corner, but playing with tremendous effort is RG3.
And that should take us to the end of the third quarter as we tick down. Well, not yet. After this punt. As he went out of bounds, obviously. Garrett with Harris back. Good punt. Harris all the way back inside the 10. And takes it out across the 25. That will end the third quarter, but we have a penalty, I believe. The 60-yard punt, a 17-yard return. Let's see what the flag is. It's thrown back at the 11.
Illegal block in the back. Number 39 of the return team. Half the distance to the goal. Watch it.
There's the penalty on Carr. But it's been the Cowboys' day. Records being broken on their way to an undefeated road record. 27-10 through 3. 27-10. We start the fourth quarter. Dallas in front, and Jason Garrett, true to his word, John, starters are still out there as we start the fourth quarter. DeMarco Murray not in on this play. His day may be done, but he's been playing up until this point. Joseph Randall, number 21, is in there for him. They start off at their own 6. They've gone 3 and out the last 3 times with the ball. Randall doesn't see much room to run, maybe a yard.
Look, I just told you, that I think Jason Garrett's done a tremendous job. One thing, if I could say to him, get Tony Romo out there. This is a guy who's had a bad back all year long, off-season surgery, transverse process during the year. I think this is Brandon Weeden time. Get the young kid some experience. Get Tony, most importantly, off the field.
Yeah. Still in there on another good day. On second down. On the near side, Beasley cuts in, makes the catch. And Beasley is taken down about a yard shy of the first down by David Amerson. One thing I should point out, we're talking about Coach of the Year. I got a tweet that we missed this one. Bill O'Brien has got to be in that conversation, especially if Houston makes the playoffs. They haven't had a quarterback for the most part of this year. I want to throw that out there.
You take tweets in the broadcast booth, huh?
I was reading them, seeing what's going on around the league. Trying to be multitasking, John. That's what Jason Garrett is looking at. And by the way, those Texans just took the lead 21-17. So there you go. Still plenty of time in that fourth quarter left. Third down. A lot of time. Romo over the middle, and that should be good enough for a first down.
I'll tell you one thing Houston's getting, that defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
There is. Pete Macheska, our producer, asked me to put together my list this week. There is no discussion. J.J. Watt, hands down, one of the best defensive years I've ever seen. He's even scoring touchdowns on offense. He'll get some MVP votes.
Pretty impressive. They're on the third quarterback, too. Right now, the way the scores are, again, a way to go. The Texans are in the playoff seat. Romo on the fake. Rolling out. Thinks about going deep, but Kerrigan blew that out. Comes back. Intercepted. He was looking for Randall, but it's picked off on the play by Jackson Jeffcoat. First career interception for Jeffcoat.
It looks like Romo's going to pull one out of his hat. Just a fabulous move to reverse out of there. Spots Randall, and that's a really athletic play by Jackson Jeffcoat. Because Tony Romo, I thought, had made a terrific play, but Jeffcoat comes out of nowhere to get the interception.
You know, this is a guy that was signed from the practice squad just December 16th, and if his name sounds familiar, that's because his father, Jim Jeffcoat, the former first-round pick, 102 career sacks, was a great player for the Cowboys. And he knows this rivalry. He once sacked Joe Theismann 5 times, but now Jackson, who was an All-American himself at Texas, had a sack last week, an interception here, and he's got Washington knocking on the door with a 1st and 10. From the third, punts, nothing there, in trouble, throws on the run and throws it out of bounds. Pressure coming that time from the rookie DeMarcus Lawrence.
You look at this play, they've got a little double move here. Griffin's going to pump. He gets back there. That's the one thing. That's the one thing that I question with Robert Griffin III. It's that pocket presence. It's something you have an innate feel. You can work on it, but it's something you have an innate feel. And throughout his career, he hasn't demonstrated that.
2nd and 10. Here comes Lawrence. Gets out of it. Throwing on the run for the end zone, and it's out of bounds. Nobody there. We get a couple pressures from Lawrence, who's getting some rest. Cowboys have some guys nicked up now. Barry Church is not in there. We told you earlier, we saw Hitchens go down just before the half. He's got an ankle injury. Hayden went out, their nose tackle. So we've got a couple guys banged up in this game. The Church is back in the game, though. 42 is back in. Third and long. Stands in there, throws, tip, intercepted at Carter again. In and out of the hands of Andre Roberts. Carter has his 2nd interception, and the Cowboys take over. Trent Williams is down in pain, the Pro Bowl left tackle.
And credit this pick to this man, Orlando Scandrick. Watch Scandrick break on the ball, and Bruce Carter with the 2nd interception of the day.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Taco Bell. The new way to Taco Bell is here, only in the app. By State Farm. Pump up your savings with a discount double check today. And by Lowe's. Lowe's, never stop improving.
Robert Griffin III is 1 for 8 with 2 interceptions in the red zone today. That time, John pointed out, great play by Scandrick to tip it up. Bruce Carter, his 2nd interception today. He's got 5 on the year. DeMarco Murray is back in the game.
Kevin, you take a look at that last interception. Nothing wrong with the decision. It just needs to happen quicker. You got to throw the ball on time. Right now, that ball should be gone. Instead, he waits. He who hesitates loses in the NFL. And here's why. Orlando Scandrick, that's zone defense at its finest. You get back, you get your eyes on the quarterback, and you drive. He does, and it ends up with the 2nd interception for Bruce Carter on the day.
Romo remains in the game. Blitz coming, and Dex on the far side is Williams. We've got a game break with Joel Klatt.
All right, Kevin, and I assure you, John Lynch, Case Keenum did not wait on that throw. He anticipated 21-17 Texans, Kansas City still up on San Diego. Cleveland still up on Baltimore. The Texans would go to the AFC playoffs. They're up 21-17, Kevin and John.
That's just crazy. Craziness going on this week 17. What a story it would be for the Texans to get in.
The collective gasp in Kansas City as they're watching that.
Oh, for sure. And the Chargers with a great comeback win over San Francisco. Blitz coming. Romo falls back on his heels. Incomplete. He was looking for Murray. All kinds of traffic there. But the Cowboys will have to punt it away.
One thing you know with Jim Haslett is that you never know, because the old saying, everything but the kitchen sink, throw in the kitchen sink. Jim Haslett is coming. That's when things are tight, whenever, Jim Haslett's going to come at you. And that's why I think you really got to be smart with having Tony Romo out there, because Jim Haslett's not calling off the dogs.
Let's remember, he hurt his back in their matchup week 8 against the Redskins. And then last year in week 16, that's when he hurt his back in that game and missed week 17. Here's Roberts. Sprinting. And good return. We get a penalty, though, right at midfield. So let's see what this is. I'd like to think that DeMarco Murray...
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 82. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Like to think that DeMarco Murray's day is done, but who knows? We'll see. 89 yards for him. How about that? A little congratulations to Bruce Carter. 2 interceptions. Week 17 continues later today on CBS, out on Fox, and then tonight was Sunday Night Football on NBC. It's a first down for Washington. Coming up next on Fox, it's a biggie for the NFC North. Packers and the Lions. The winner of that one clinches the division. Jordan Reed with a nifty move. He's got a 9-yard gain. Well, John, how good are these Cowboys? I mean, they've got the NFC East. They could play Detroit or Green Bay next week in a wild card round. And we've been singing their praises today. They played a good ball game. First down to Halou. But how good are they? Are they a team that could win one, or are they a team that could win it all?
I think they can win it all, and here's why. Because I think they can play with anyone because of the style. I talked about beating people in a lot of different ways. It's a team that can play the power game. They can run the football, stay on the field. They convert at an excellent rate on third down.
Here from the third, in trouble, and he is taken down. Jeremy Mincey has his 6th sack of the year.
Jeremy Mincey is a guy who just plays hard. He's coming from the top of your screen. Watch him work on Compton, and he just goes with the straight bull and then the finish. And that's the thing that's going to have to be the defense. Jimmy Johnson said it. When they won Super Bowls, they were a #1 defense. This is not a #1 defense. They play incredibly hard. They're turning the ball over. And how are you going to match up against Calvin Johnson and the likes? But provided they can do that, I like them to be able to play with anybody and beat anyone.
Meanwhile, coming near side to Paul for a short gain. Well, that's certainly going to be the key. But they'll at least get one home game next week. And who knows, with a little luck, maybe even get a first-round bye if things fall their way. But they need a lot of help for that.
Here's the thing, Kevin. Having played in this defense myself, back in Tampa with Rod Marinelli on that staff, Monty Kiffin, you don't live in man-to-man against a guy like Calvin Johnson. That's when that Tampa 2 comes in handy. To go along with that, though, you better have that pass rush. And they do it in waves. They don't come with one guy with 10-plus sacks. They come at you in waves.
Third and long. Griffin III sets up a screen. It's Halou. Good block. First down. Good patient running by Roy Halou Jr., who's been a real good receiver out of the backfield since he's come into the league from Nebraska.
Just to finish that thought, as you see Halou go on the screen, it's just good running on the screen, good design, Chester out front. A nice gain for the Redskins, but just to finish that thought, I like what Tony Romo said. See Halou take the draw, making people miss.
Well, play-by-play, John. I like it.
How about it?
Throw it in there.
I'm trying to get this thought out. But Romo said, we're going to be good for a while. And I agree, because when you're good up front, which they are, you see this offensive line, that's the foundation of your team for years to come. They're going to be a good football team with Tony Romo, that offensive line, the skill they have around it. And I think this defense is one pass rusher away from being dominant.
Griffin III back to throw. Nice catch over the middle. It's Santana Moss, the veteran, inside the 10. And his first catch today for Moss. Has been here an awful long time. 14th year in the league. And this is a longtime rival. But for Moss, he's been the guy that's been so front and center for this team for over the years. But that's just his 8th catch of the year. Here's what started this. Wilcox coming in, get a little nasty with the headgear.
Well, and here comes Sean Laval to knock him off the pile, and that's just good football. Guys going at it and competing until the end.
From the 8, a second down.
Hey, Rhino!
Trying to make this a 10-point game. Griffin III looking near side, completing near side to Reed. Helmet off, and he's in, but he's got to stop. Play is over when the helmet comes off. That's the old Jason Witten rule. So that won't be a touchdown. Play's dead when the helmet comes off. So this is not a touchdown. I don't know what the discussion is.
I should have used that tactic more often. Just tear off the helmet. Unfortunately, that wasn't a rule that I was playing. But Jeff Heath gets the helmet. At that point, the ball is dead. Good catch by you, Kevin.
Well, John, we have Mike Pereira back in L.A., so I just study his Jedi ways.
There was no touchdown on the play. The play was over when the runner's helmet came off. The play was dead. Personal foul, tackling by the helmet opening. Defense, number 38. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Now, just because the helmet came off doesn't automatically make it a penalty. And I disagree with the penalty.
Yeah, you got 50% of it right. Right call to blow it dead, not a penalty, but 2 yards different.
The helmet just came off. He didn't grab the helmet. Nonetheless, here it is, first and goal. Palou has it, tackled immediately. Nowhere to go. It was brought down by Kenneth Boatwright. And we get an injury, another one on the offensive line. Tom Compton, who just moved to left tackle from right tackle for Williams. And that's Tyrone Crawford. That is a guy that Dallas cannot have hurt. He's been tremendous at defensive tackle. So they tend to the injuries, and we'll take a break. Under 7 to play.
Today's game is sponsored by the new Samsung Galaxy Note 4. The next big thing is here.
Tyrone Crawford came out of this game and appears there to be all right. He's been so good in the middle of that defense. Meanwhile, Tom Compton, right tackle, just moved over to left tackle when Trent Williams went out. He's now out. So Spencer Long, a rookie from Nebraska, number 60, comes in.
Crawford's so critical. He plays that under tackle position, the one that Warren Sapp made famous in our defense. And he's no Warren Sapp, but he's given them a big boost. And that's the position that can most affect an opposing offense, the penetration, just wrecking opposing schemes. Crawford's done a nice job of doing just that.
And so a second and goal from the 2. They'll throw it. Looking, nothing there. Coming back left. Griffin III, touchdown. And now they get a flag on the play as some more pushing and shoving breaks out.
If you're a Cowboy player right now, you got playoffs next week, and you got to be very, very careful that you don't do something silly that will cost you a game. Orlando Scandrick going at it right now with Santana Moss. You got to be careful and keep those emotions in check. There's Orlando Scandrick. He looks like he just got out of a fight, and he did.
Well, you're right, John. I mean, you don't want to do anything that's going to give yourself a suspension and miss a playoff game at this point.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 88. Correction. Offense, number 88. Blindside block. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
Well, you saw the blindside block by Pierre Garçon, and then Skandrick, who was coming across the field, saw it. He's coming to his teammate's aid, but at that point, you have to be smart. And I understand sticking up for your teammate, but you got so much at stake if you're the Dallas Cowboys. Washington's going home after this week. Dallas, they're moving on, and there's the blindside block by Garçon. Here comes Skandrick to give him a piece of his mind.
Especially at this point for Washington, they've got nothing to lose. Dallas with everything to lose, but they get on the board. It's only a 10-point game. They've had some positives with their offense in the second half, despite the 2 interceptions. Still Cowboys by 10, 6:45 to play. This rivalry goes back a long time. It's the 110th meeting between these two clubs ever since the Cowboys came into the league in 1960, and there have been some great games, a couple of playoff matchups where Washington has won both, and guess what? They're still feisty.
Some things never change, and I'm all right with that. You like guys sticking up for the team, but again, just got to be smart. Pierre Garçon says, Coach, I swear I didn't do anything. Eye in the sky doesn't lie, Pierre.
Yeah, you could see how that one escalated. So after the penalty on that block, Redskins kicking here. Look for the onside kick from the 10. No, they're going to kick it off. But they try the onside. Harris back to the 10. Wayne Harris, good move and a good return all the way out to the 33. Let's check in with Pam.
Hey there, Kevin. You guys have talked a lot about, the starters coming in and staying out of the game or when they're coming out. I'll tell you what I'm seeing down here is a whole bunch of enthusiastic players. You don't see anybody dreading it or, interested in coming out. You're seeing a lot of players working together, the coaches involved, the players involved with each other, and these guys seem to be enjoying themselves. They're loving it. Meantime, just an injury update. Tyron Crawford, he fell on his knee, but they say he's fine. Back to you.
Yeah, that's excellent look. It gives you an idea. So it's not just Garrett's thought, it's the whole team buying in. And they're still out there, these starters. Here's DeMarco Murray. Got the football running right and a good run, and we get a penalty coming from the secondary. Murray's at 89 yards rushing and a touchdown. Remember, he started the year with 8 straight 100-yard games, a new NFL record. If you just tuned in, now the Cowboys single-season leader.
Illegal use of hands. Defense, number 53. 5-yard penalty added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
You watch DeMarco Murray with the finish on this run, and that's why you got to think. They aren't going to back off. You got to protect them from themselves.
We'll take a break. Cowboys with the football, up by 10. You look at Cowboys, big 3 today. Romo looking back at the days of Aikman. Dez looking back at the days of Irvin. And then DeMarco Murray looking back at the days of Emmitt Smith. A lot of similarities there. Jimmy Johnson told us when he joined us earlier. These guys putting up Mondo production. Bryant now with the best touchdown season by a receiver for the Cowboys. Murray beating Emmitt Smith's old mark, and Romo making a case for an MVP. Murray 4 yards away from 100. Trying to cut back his field, and he's taken down. Good tackle despite the stiff arm. In the back was Justin Rogers bringing him down. Got a penalty on this play, too.
I'm wondering if they're going to get DeMarco Murray for the stiff arm, getting his hand up in that face mask.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask. Offense, number 29. 15-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Look at him switch the ball to that left hand, and you're allowed to stiff arm, but then if you put your hand in there and push it off.
Yeah, you can't twist the head like that. Also interesting is that there was a play earlier in the game too where he tried to switch to his left hand and then decided against it. He carries predominantly right anyway, but I wonder just with that left hand, it's still so sore. It's still got the stitches in from the surgery.
No doubt, but that's what he said. Why he likes to put it in the outside hand for the stiff arm. It's a great weapon. There's that hand shaking it off right now.
It's gotta hurt. Final game for Santana Moss. 1st and 25 after the penalty. Just over 6 minutes to play. Cowboys by 10. All their starters remain in the game. Get it to Beasley. Trying to follow some blocks. Cowboys all over it. The AFC wildcard changes by the minute. Another change. Let's go to Joel for the update.
All right, Kevin, here we go. Back to Baltimore. Joe Flacco heating up. This time he finds Aiken. 2-yard TD score. They're up by 10. Kansas City still up over San Diego. Means Baltimore will go to the AFC playoffs right now, at least. Kevin John will keep you updated.
Yeah, Joel, I have a feeling we'll be back to check in. That's changed a lot. But with a 10-point lead with 3:44 to go, the Ravens in good shape. And KC's held that 19-7 lead almost all day over San Diego. 4-man rush. Romo throws far side to Bryant, who had 2 touchdowns in the first half. Then relatively quiet here in the second half. But that will put him, I believe, over 100 yards on the day. Let's see. Here's what you're looking at. Murray's going to win the rushing title. 16 touchdown catches, breaks Terrell Owens' single season record. And Bryant now at 99 yards for the day. This will be a 3rd and 16. Again, a 4-man rush. Romo steps up, gonna let it fly, looking for Terrence Williams. He's got it inside the 10. What a throw by Tony Romo.
What a throw is right. That's a couple of things. First of all, work in the pocket. Terrence Williams, the double move. And Tony Romo, watch this ball drop in there. You cannot throw it any better. Unbelievable throw by Tony Romo, who bought time by working the pocket, finding the soft spot. And what a throw by Tony Romo.
A 50-yard dime to Terrence Williams. Oh, you just couldn't put it any more perfectly than that. And a 1st and goal. Murray tries to bounce it to the outside and gets shoved out of bounds right around the 6. And he's over 100 yards for the 12th time this year.
What I'm saying, I keep saying it, DeMarco Murray's not backing off, nor is Bashaud Breeland. And so this is the danger, but Jason Garrett, he's pressed all the buttons, the right buttons this year. I may not agree with it. Jimmy Johnson may not agree with it, but Jason Garrett's in charge, and he's been great all year. But keeping these guys in, I don't know, but it's working.
Remember you said earlier, last couple games, he hadn't had that, shown that same ability to break through the first tackle. He is trying to hammer people today, man.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, the 32-yard run, which broke the record earlier, and had 100 even on the game. 12th time this year. Remember, he had 8 straight to start the year.
So much for resting him. 20 carries.
43 yards after contact for Murray. And a 2nd and goal now for the Cowboys. They try to put the finishing touches on this one. They're going to throw it for Williams, incomplete. Try to hit Williams on the slant, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
But another illustration why this formula works so well. DeMarco Murray's in there. You have to load the box to stop the run. Little miscommunication there, but Terrence Williams had the one-on-one, and maybe that's why DeMarco Murray stays in, because he is mad he's coming out.
How do you not like that?
You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
So instead, they bring in Lance Dunbar on a 3rd and goal. Blitz. Picked up initially, but here comes Kerrigan. Romo throws it. He's getting hit. It goes out of the end zone. Kerrigan wanted a hold there. And he may have had a case, but he certainly made the play.
That's a really good job by the defense. I'm thinking they're bringing the house, the old casino blitz. Look at everybody edging up. Not so fast. They back out. That causes Romo to reload, and then Ryan Kerrigan chases him and makes him throw it away. Nice defensive play and coverage by Bashad Breeland on Escobar.
And so now Dan Bailey will try a field goal. It's be a 23-yarder. Another big game for DeMarco Murray. Would make it a 13-point edge. And it's up and good. 23-yard field goal for Dan Bailey. And it makes it a 13-point lead for Dallas.
Look at DeMarco Murray. He inflicts punishment, and he'll take some because of the way he runs. He's not just going to go down for the defense, but he seems to love it. What a competitor. Single season rushing record, and boy, has he earned it this year.
You know, I go back to a story, and you saw his reaction when he got taken out for the third down package. Jason Garrett was telling us a story about Zach Martin in the Colts game, wasn't he? Zach has been battling a bad ankle injury, and they were up, what, 35-0 in that third quarter.
Yeah, it was, I believe it was about the Philly game, and that's when he had sprained that ankle. Right. And Jason said, all right, it's time for you to come out. Great game. How you feeling? I'm feeling great. He ran right on the field, and Jason said, I tried to pull him out.
He didn't give him a chance.
So, but you know what? We're talking about a special attitude, and you talk about all the skill, but maybe the intangibles, what this team has going for it most. You got guys that are playing with pain. You got guys like DeMarco Murray playing 6 days after surgery. That's something special about this team, the toughness. And Jason Garrett preaches it all the time. This team has it.
That's really what today was all about, at least in his mind, and I think it's paid off. The way they played. Here's Niles Paul. Going to bring it on out. And Washington has the football down 30-17 with 3:25 to go. It's time today to honor this man, Bob Stenner. 50 years producing football. And of course, you may not know it, but he was the man behind the great Summerall and Madden combo. Had the mustache then, doesn't anymore. He will not be in the television truck anymore. He has trained so many greats that are doing it today, and he'll keep doing it. He's going to stay on at Fox for a long, long time. And we want to say thank you to Bob. 50 years producing, John, and being the best at what he does. And he won't be in the TV trucks anymore, but he'll be with us, and he's just amazing at what he does. So thank you, Bob. Incomplete to Santana Moss.
Yeah, I just echo that sentiment. I've known Bob for a long time as a player. He used to come in production meetings. He'd ask some strange questions, but he always wanted the story behind the story. And since I've been in this business, he's never produced one of my games, but he's always got a little call. You did this well. And Bob Stenner's left a huge imprint on our network, on the entire game of football. We thank you, Bob, and we wish you best moving forward at Fox.
He's always made it fun, that's for sure. What made him great. Tripping the third back, and he gets taken down. The fumble ball is out, and it's a touchdown. Anthony Spencer finds himself in the end zone. It was Terrell McClain who delivered the hit.
Jay Gruden irritated because, as I mentioned earlier, you have to know when to say when as a quarterback. And sometimes you're going to get sacked, but you better protect that football. 2 cardinal sins at the quarterback position by Robert Griffin III right there, and it results in a touchdown for the Cowboys. Right here, you pump. If you don't, you better get rid of it. McClain hits him, ball out. Here's what Robert Griffin III's seeing. Sometimes everyone's covered. Get rid of it. Move in the pocket. If all else fails, secure that football. That football is precious. He doesn't. Anthony Spencer is dancing as a result.
Man, they're going to look at this as they do all turnovers. You know, you go back to his rookie year, John, and Robert Griffin III has always fumbled. You know, he's a runner, and that's been a part of it. But he didn't throw interceptions that first year, and the turnovers are part of the issue with him now the last year. I'm not saying that was all his fault, obviously. He had a ton of people there, but there's a lot to be worked on for Jay Gruden in his first year of a 5-year deal as a head coach. He's got a lot to clean up for a Redskin team that has finished last 6 times in the last 7 years.
They've got big issues. They've been hit by the salary cap, penalties, and that really set this team back. But the instability at the coaching position, and look, Jay Gruden this first year hasn't been great, but there's been a lot of issues to deal with. And in my mind, you got to stick with them. You got to let this ride out. And Robert Griffin, he's making it tough because we've seen the good today, but we've seen the bad that gives you pause to wonder, is he the guy moving forward? And part of the issue, they gave so much up. I mean, a lot of people didn't like it when Jeff Fisher sent everybody that they drafted as a result of that trade out. A lot of good players in that list.
Yeah, there is. When they played the Rams, that he kind of sent all the captains, the players that were in the RG3 trade, the players that they ended up drafting with the picks. And that's the thing. They invested a lot in him, and they've got to make a decision whether to bring him back, because Jay Gruden's coming back. He's got a 5-year contract. He's not going anywhere. And, I think the tough thing, and Gruden admitted this to us, is you really have a year with no progress because of the dislocated ankle that cost him to miss so much time. And then when he came back, there was some struggle. You have a year where you didn't make any evaluation. You couldn't. How can you? So you've got 3 guys all at quarterback, and that's what you got. And since 1999, that's when Daniel Snyder took ownership of this Washington team. 8 coaches. That's a lot. And you see it's obviously more than anyone else in the division.
And you need continuity. You need stability in this league. Credit Jerry Jones. He's stuck by this man right now. Now we're talking to him for the coach of the year. If you find the right guy, if your instinct tells you got the right guy, stick with them. And I believe they'll do that with Jay Gruden. You just never know because of that history.
From the third, coming near side. It's Reed, the tight end. Makes the catch. Shot across the 30. It's a first down. Hey, 3, 8, and 8 years. And, let's remember, Jerry Jones gave Garrett a big deal as an offensive coordinator. He targeted him as the next guy all along, and he never wavered. And there are times when Garrett didn't look all that, sexy to the media, but Jerry Jones stayed with him, and it's paying off this year. I think there's another factor in this, too. On a first down, they're going to set it up to Halou Jr. And he is up near the 40 for a gain of 8.
Kevin, I hate to spend other people's money, but things are getting expensive for Jerry Jones because Jason Garrett's coaching his tail off. Dez Bryant's playing his tail off. You look at this draft choices, these draft selections, Jerry Jones has done a tremendous job.
Here's the thing. We're talking impact players, right? Just look at the sheer numbers of who the Cowboys have drafted that are stars right now for them. That is the difference. With the salary cap, and both these teams were hindered over that salary cap. It's impossible to be a contender unless you draft well, and quite frankly, Washington has not.
Absolutely, and what a bonus that years ago they picked this free agent quarterback out of Eastern Illinois. Sean Payton was a big proponent, and had gone to school there and said, bring him down, bring him down. They got Tony Romo. They went to him, and Jason Garrett, I thought, said it best. I don't know if this is his best year, but he's never played better.
Yeah.
And I agree.
It's a 3rd and 2. And a fire, and Santana Moss has it for a first down across midfield and out of bounds. Maybe Santana Moss's last catch. 13 yards at least for Washington.
Talking about playing at a high level for a long time. This guy, one heck of a competitor, Santana Moss. I played against him many times, and you always had to be ready to play. You always knew where Santana Moss was in your game plan.
John, over 10,000 yards in his career, 66 touchdowns. He's had a great career. On first down. Pressure comes when they set it up with the screen. Going to give it to Moss again. And Moss fighting his way down to the 43. And that'll take us down to the 2-minute warning. It's all Cowboys here today. Jason Garrett loving it. They're staying hot going into the playoffs. Flat out dominating December for Dallas. I mean, not only wins, but blowout wins, and the offense. Nearly 40 points a game. First time ever that the Cowboys have had 37 or more points in 4 straight games. Ever.
It's supposed to be a W.
No, it will be.
That illustrator doesn't work.
Or
maybe my handwriting doesn't work.
In a matter of a moment, it will be. With 2 minutes to go, Washington football, 2nd and 5. Robert Griffin III is slinging out to Reed. The boys, the tackle fumbles the football. It's loose. Cowboys just recovered. Looked like it was J.J. Wilcox who recovered. Cowboys will take over and have a chance to cinch the victory.
You know what this is, though? It's that hustle. It's the effort that you talk about this defense. Look at the interior line coming. Ball downfield. Here comes the posse. That's Tyrone Crawford, the 3 technique, the under tackle that is running downfield and hits that ball to get it out. That's tremendous effort and hustle, and that's what gives this defense that doesn't have a bunch of stars an opportunity to do something special in the postseason.
I want to thank those of you who've been watching a ton of the games that have ended from earlier, including the Texans win over Jacksonville, along with Pam Oliver, John Lynch, I'm Kevin Burkhardt here in Landover. The Cowboys are on their way to an undefeated road record. They have been terrific all day. This is the first time the backups are in. They played the starters all day long. Brandon Weeden in. Here's Randall, right up the gut. Backups in, same result, touchdown. 65 yards and no flags. On a day DeMarco Murray breaks into the Cowboys record books, Joseph Randall wanted a piece of the action too.
Joseph Randall says, I can do this too. DeMarco Murray, going to give him some dap. Jim Haslett, he committed everybody to stop that run. So there's no safety in the middle of the field. And once he breaks Joseph Randall, that first wave, he's gone.
Jason Garris told us it was 07. That taste in his mouth when they had wrapped everything up and they came here and got beat up. He didn't want it to happen again, and it's not.
No safety right there, Kev. You get through the guys in the box, and it's out the door, and it's Travis Frederick and Zach Martin. 2 of those guys going to the Pro Bowl along with Tyron Smith. That offensive line paves the way, and all Randall has to do is find that hole, break 1 tackle, and he is gone. This team can run the football and run it well.
174 yards rushing now. Randall with the big run. DeMarco Murray, another 100-yard game for him and a touchdown. It's all working for Dallas, and exactly what Jason Garrett wanted. That toughness factor to stay hot, continue to play well. Starters have been in. They've all played well, and they're going into the playoffs on about as hot as a mode as you can possibly be. And the big 3 today, all big games.
Telling you, we asked Jay Gruden what he thought about this team, talking about Dallas's prospects. He said, they've got everything it takes to do a lot of damage, and went on to mention they've already gone up to Seattle, so that confidence moving on. They've beat some of the best teams in this league. Jason Garrett has done a fantastic job, and he's got a big smile on his face, as he should.
Well, John, we told you about the teams joining us today. The Ravens today won. The Chiefs beat the Chargers, so the Ravens are in the playoffs. They're going to get that spot in the AFC. Wild early games going on. The Cowboys are in. They can get a first-round bye or first-round seed with a lot of help later in the late games. But right now, we know they're in. And for more, with 7-game break with Joe Clapp.
All right, Kev, we've got a huge one coming up this afternoon. Green Bay hosting Detroit as Aaron Rodgers tries to lock up the NFC North. A first-round bye also on the line for Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions. It's America's Game of the Week. It's next, and it's on Fox. Kevin and John.
And Joel, the Cowboys could see one of those teams next week. Today's game being produced by Pete Macheska, directed by Artie Kepner. The Associate Director, Eric Mandia. Broadcast Associate, Tyler Dare. Technical Producer, Clyde Taylor. Technical Director, Tom Maslak. Pre-game show produced by Bill Richards and directed by Stephanie Medina. Audio, Jeff Cohen doing a fantastic job. Jeff Nelson on the stats. Emmitt Smith, Bill Harmon, our spotters up in the booth, and a tremendous crew that, John, we are lucky to work with all year long.
We sure are. Some of the best in the business, and they make it fun to come to work every single week.
Our camera folks who travel with us, Mike Tatamir on the low end zone, Dan Steele, Grant Dobbins, who's usually up here in the booth, Keith DeSantis. There's Keith, Rick Franklin and Tate. Mike Abdullah back there too, and Scott Valor. We all travel every weekend. And don't forget Diana Caputo back there too.
Offense,
we get a
number
penalty
82,
here.
5-yard penalty, still second down.
We have Justin Galitas back there, tapping up all the numbers you see on the screen, along with Josh Weingrad. 17 weeks go by in a blur, don't they?
Dobby.
Dobby's outside today.
Braving the elements.
Aaron Combs is our first down lineman. Mike Marini behind the scenes. Johnny, there's a lot of work that goes in that makes us try and look good.
No doubt.
Here with Pam Oliver every week in front of the camera, but so much happens that if you saw, you'd probably be amazed. That's for sure. Tell you who's amazed right now, Cowboys fans, because their team is red hot. And for Washington, while you saw some positives, you got a lot to think about going into this offseason.
I'm flipping the script on you as we close here today. Tony Romo, you think MVP? Aaron Rodgers, MVP.
Boy,
someone else.
That's really tough. How about this? We'll see how Aaron Rodgers plays against Detroit. We'll make that call. But Romo is right there in the decision. DeMarco Murray going to be the rushing champion. And that'll do it here from Landover, Maryland. The Cowboys finished the year undefeated on the road. They win the NFC East, and they are red, sizzling hot going into the playoffs with the destruction of their rivals here today. That'll do it here from Landover. It's the Cowboys winning it big 44-17. Right to the studio we go.